You the god of again.
Well, that's good enough to get you revved up.
I got that one for you, man.
Uh, uh,
That last one. I was like, I gotta get some Hulk stuff. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Made Media. We got a not your regular stream today. We're gonna be doing a random talk it out. Uh, we, me and Brenton have been on this new interest in collecting a new line that we're interested in, and so we thought we'd go live and talk about it since Brenton got his first piece in, and we've kind of been looking at different stuff. So, but anyway, that's what we're talking about today. But Brenton, how you doing, man? How's your Thursday going?
I'm doing good. Yeah, no, I was wiped out today, so I've been exhausted.
It's one of those days where you get home and you just like pass out. Like, I didn't actually pass out, but I wanted to. Like, I had to do stuff as soon as I got home, but the second I sat down, it felt like hell, like trying to get back up again. So,
You know what?
man.
You know what it was like? It was because it rained all day, so we got
Oh,
like
really?
all that rain from you.
Yeah. You can't.
So
You get
I
it.
think something about the rain, it just makes you want to like
It's like, yeah,
fall asleep. You're just
yeah.
like,
You
I'm
don't want
done.
to do anything. You want to chill on the couch, watching shows, and sleep, or
Yeah, and
whatever.
it was dark all day, so
Yeah. I need the sun. The sun keeps me alive.
get that vitamin D
Yeah,
or vitamin C.
exactly. Exactly, man. We have no one in the chat yet, so I'm not introducing any chat members right now. So we're gonna get straight into it. Today we're gonna be talking collecting on a budget, statue collecting on a budget specifically. Me and Brenton have been into Diamond Select lately, and Gentle Giant, and some smaller scale statues that we feel aren't talked about as much, on streams and in the community. And we feel there are some cool pieces out there that we thought maybe people were unaware of or just, didn't know of. And we thought we'd highlight some of those today. As you know, I did a video on the channel like a couple days ago of a mini bust that I got in from Gentle Giant that I thought was really cool. Resin bust. So we're going to get into stuff like that. But so the first topic of discussion will be the different scales of smaller statue collecting or more affordable statue collecting. It's mostly 1/6, 1/7, 1/10, and half scale busts and mini busts. There is like stuff that's like 1/8, 1/9, and like just random scales. And we're not gonna do too much 1/5. I thought about 1/5, but 1/5 is more like once you get into maquette territory, and that's kind of sideshows thing. And we're gonna stick more to 1/6 and smaller. So, so those are the scales we'll mostly be talking about today, and then also the different materials that you see in those statues when you get into that smaller statue collection, or maybe a more affordable statue. You'll see materials like PVC in a lot of the 1/6 scale, like gallery Diamond Select gallery statues. They do a lot of PVC, or mixed, where the item will be PVC and resin. And then obviously you have resin in some of the mini busts and the half scale busts, and even some of the 1/6 and 1/7 stuff is resin. And then not too much polystone. I put polystone in there because I think it exists in 1/6 scale statues, but normally I think you see resin or PVC. So I don't know if you saw a different Brenton, but that's normally what I saw.
No, the only one I was questioning that maybe polystone in this kind of scale would be like the 1/10. Like I don't know Iron Studios if they use polystone or if they use resin for theirs.
Oh, it's a good call. I didn't even check. We're gonna talk about some Iron Studios, so we can check when we talk about them.
And whatever the 1/6, like 1/6, I think that would be a popular material, especially for like tweeter head.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about. I forget the Tweeterhead does 1/6. They may use polystone. See, that's why we have Brenton, guys, because he thought of some shit that I didn't even think about. So that's good. And then so since we're talking about the different materials, Brenton sent me this really cool link, which I am gonna share in the chat. So if you guys want, you could check it out. But it's pretty much going over, the differences between materials, like PVC, polystone, and resin. Because there was some stuff that I actually didn't know about, with polystone. Like I didn't know that polystone was actually like stone mixed within resin, and then like molded that way, and that's how you get polystone. And it's like apparently it's the most fragile version of all three of these. Like PVC is obviously very durable. It may not fit, it's not as heavy, it's a much lighter material. And then resin, slightly heavier but more brittle than PVC, and it'll feel a little bit more higher end just because of the weight to it. And I didn't know those differences, so I thought that was cool. So I put the link in the chat, guys. Check that out if you want. Brenton, is there anything you wanted to talk about
Yeah, I
with
think
different materials?
we both learned about it because I wasn't as familiar of kind of what the distinctions were between the different materials. You just see them listed and you're kind of like, yeah, okay, that I kind of guess what that is. But when you actually researched a little bit to find out detail, polystone is just actually like a stone powder that must be used to, harden whatever the material is when they put it into a mold. So I guess that's where it gets the name from. But it was interesting to learn, like PVC, it can be a soft plastic, but depending on the density, like how much they put in, that's where it becomes a harder material.
That's true too. Yeah, I was reading. They talk about that in that link that I sent. That PVC, even though like a lot of people consider it to be cheap or light, it could actually be pretty hard material. And it's also I think when I was reading it, it said it's also the easiest to paint. The PVC, a lot of times, like they'll need to add a primer for the resin and the polystone. I don't know if the paint necessarily comes out better looking on PVC, but I think they said it was easier to paint. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I saw Buck in the chat mentioned ABS, and in that
That's on there
link they
too?
also talk about ABS and what exactly that is.
I'm glad you brought up the chat really quick because we have a good amount of people in there now. So I'm gonna go ahead and shout people out really quick. We got Jimmy James says, "What's up, fellas? I've been on the smaller statue kick too. Awesome, you love to see it." You got Toy Mafia. Thanks for always supporting Mafia. And then Aiden, what's up, Aiden? Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate you. And of course, John. Let's talk, guys. That's not necessarily going to be the title of the show all the time. I just let's talk because I'm pretty sure someone else did a let's talk show. I don't want anybody to think I'm jacking their swag or some shit. Like I just put let's talk. Hello, Governor Buck. What's up, buddy? He's British today. You love to see it. We got Walton in the chat says Brenton is looking energetic if I say so myself. Well, you know what? Like we said, we're both having a lazy day today. We got Phil Adornato. I was recently re-looking at Iron Studios 1/10. It's a pity that in Oz the new norm for them is 300. Yeah, they're getting up in price as well. We did notice that, and I think we talked about it a while ago, maybe on an old In and Outs or something, that with that like General Grievous that came out, it was like 300-ish or something, or close. And we were like, wow, it's getting So some of them are getting pretty pricey. They're still a lot more affordable than a lot of stuff, though.
Yeah, I think they may have had some of the bigger jumps in just the last 2 years. Because I think in 2020 I bought two Iron Studios. They had a Reeve Superman that I
Oh
got
yeah,
on the
yeah.
flagpole, and then they had an '89 Batman. And I want to say like the '89 Batman I bought was like 90 at the time,
Oh, not bad at all.
and
Oh,
the
I remember
Reeves.
that was the one that came with the, if you got it with the Batmobile, right?
Yeah, yeah, and that one really jumped. But I think there was a lot of material in that because the way they did like the Batcave on the base. Like I think that was pretty solid. So that was like $1,000. All of a sudden, it was a huge jump.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And I,
Let me finish off the chat here really quick. That sound pause. I didn't mean it like that. Steve Appleton tuning in. Thanks. We got Adriana in the chat. Thanks, babe, for checking it out. We have. Okay, so I think I've shouted out everybody, and then Jimmy had a good point here, and this is why we're doing this. Honestly, he says it gets overwhelming, filling a collection with statues 600 and up. For me personally, I don't really care what something is made of as long as it looks cool to my eye. That's all that matters. We kind of feel the same way. I think it definitely is hard to keep up with 600 plus price point on quarter scales and 1/5 and things like that. And I think that there is a lot of good options out there for decently sized items. You know, even resin, even stuff that doesn't feel, some people feel that tend to feel that it's cheaper or whatever, but they actually do feel pretty solid. They feel like good collectibles, and they're more affordable. They're easy to display, and I think it adds to a display too. Like, you got little pockets that you can do little 1/6 collections or mini busts or half scale busts, whatever. But that's kind of why we're doing it, Jimmy. We feel it's not talked about enough in the community, so that's what we're
yeah,
trying to do here, man.
I'm gonna say like 600 as the price list. You know, when you start looking at those other companies now, good luck finding something under 1,200 for quarter
Yeah,
scale. So
yeah,
I mean, that's a huge
definitely.
jump. Sideshow's the only one that's going to give you around $600 price point. And, part of the problem with being at the mercy of those companies is they're only going to put so many out a year, and they stick to mainly popular characters. Like, it doesn't pay for them to reach out and do lesser known characters or not as popular.
Um, Buck says here, Kotobukiya, Band Presto, Good Smile, and the like, usually in 1/7. You're right. We'll probably talk a little bit about Kotobukiya. I didn't put it in the thumbnail, but Presto, not so much. I know they do a lot of anime stuff, and I do have a lot of those Band Presto DBZ statues. They're good pieces. We can talk about it, Buck. If you want to do an anime show, man, we can definitely do it. And Good Smile as well. Uh, and also, Buck, if you want the link for this one, since you seem to be pretty interested in this, you feel free to message me, man. I'll send you the link. But uh, we have Keeses. What's up, Keeses? And Late Night Trip. How you doing, man? Appreciate everybody for tuning in. So we're pretty caught up with the chat now. So I think we are gonna get into another topic right now, which is the first real topic, I think, which is what are some of the pros you feel are collecting smaller scale statues, Brenton?
Yeah, so I was kind of thinking about this today, and what I could come up with is I guess I outlined four main pros. Let's see if I can remember what I said earlier. So, are you may be on mute.
Oh, sorry, I said I have it written down. If you
Oh,
don't,
okay.
so go ahead.
Well, I was thinking so price, uh, I think displayability, variety of characters, and storing the boxes. So that's always like a part that maybe people don't touch on as much in statue collecting is what do you do with all the empty boxes that you need to put somewhere? And when you have these massive boxes or you have multiple boxes per statue, it's kind of a pain.
Definitely. And then you have storage units, and that
Exactly.
adds to the cost of collecting as well. I
So
pay
your
$200 a month for a storage unit. So
yeah, to maintain a storage unit just to store empty boxes, that it's not always a fruitful, I guess, way to manage money.
yeah, it's not at all. Especially if you're living in a small apartment, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom apartment, and all you have are closets, really, and you need those closets. So it's not easy. So you have to go get a storage unit. Storage units aren't cheap, and then because of the collecting that we do, if we have anything in that storage unit, we want it to be air conditioned, preferably inside, indoor storage unit. There's just a lot of things, and then a lot of storage units get broken into, so you got to think about insurance for your collecting, and so it adds a whole nother financial aspect to collecting, which no one talks about either. No one talks about storage units live. Like,
Yeah,
that's
they're
another
like
good topic that we could bring up at another time. But
there's all these weird hidden costs, would you say? Like it's
yeah,
all these extra things. So like when you look at a bigger scale statue, you're paying for the shipping to get it. And it's like this cost you're never going to get back. Like it's just a lost fee, and just how the world is working today, shipping is crazy. You could pay a premium format just to get a statue to you.
yeah, definitely. It's it's a lot of it is you can pay prime one now. Like you're paying high end prices for shipping now. Everything's coming from another continent, or so like, and then you're waiting several months if you're trying to get the cheaper shipping on boat. And yeah, so there's a lot of that is taken out with this uh scale of collecting. And then
Yeah,
uh
I would say a lot of these companies, I don't know if you'd agree, Eddie, are licensed for North America. So you don't
oh
have
yeah,
to necessarily worry about, okay, they don't have a license. Who do I go to get them?
yeah,
Because at least to me, I think about a lot of these products are either carried by, comic shops. I've seen some of it at Walmart. You have
that's
these
uh that's another
options.
good pro that we didn't list in your four is availability.
Yeah, no, I guess
Like,
that's up to
yeah,
five now. Yeah.
yeah, that is a good point. You can pretty much find these anywhere, whether it's a local comic shop. Some of them are even available at Walmart. Um, so like mass merch stores, and then obviously you have Big Bad, Entertainment Earth, whatever other major retailers online are. Um, so yeah, that's a good point. You don't have to worry about who's a reputable statue distributor, who's doing this, who's doing that, who's doing this under the table, things like that. And then I was thinking about this with shipping and things. There's not a lot of breakages in 1/6, and like there's not a lot of worry if your item's gonna arrive in good condition to you, like because of the small nature to it. Like there's less moving around in the box, and um, then if it's PVC, it's pretty fucking durable. I think I
Yeah.
actually did break a PVC statue once. I think I broke that Thor that I told you I had.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I dropped it once and I broke like one of the electric pieces or something, but they're pretty durable. So you don't got to worry about having to get new pieces. And then they ship usually in one piece. There isn't a lot of switch outs and stuff, so you don't have to worry about that either. There's a lot of headache taken out with like minimal cons. Oh, look, we have a surprise guest. Yo, Buck Fangs, what's up, buddy?
You
What's
know,
up, man?
Buck,
Much.
how's it going? I was just
Just
thinking about this, Eddie, as you were talking. And due to the price points, so if you go to like Big Bad Toy Store or something and you pre-order these, there's no NRD. You like depending on the price point, you don't have to put anything down to pre-order it, and you can wait till it is ready to ship.
Yeah, that's
And
a
if
good
you use
point, too.
them, you're looking at $4 shipping. So there's definitely some pros there. I think it's anything usually under $100,
Mm-hmm.
110 maybe, is doesn't require any money down.
Another good point Jimmy made is feels like 98% of the time it's a loss with selling statues for me. There's definitely lately there is a bit more of a loss just because people aren't paying as much for certain pieces, and with the high ES of things, the value isn't always there on the resale. Um, there's several things to take into account when reselling nowadays, but a lot of that is taken out of is no longer a factor with this scale of collecting. But I will. This is a con, which we weren't going to do too many cons in small scale collecting. PVC collecting does not have hardly any resale value. Like there may be some, but most of them they're like $50, $60, whatever. But like that, you pay that money and you pretty much lost it. Like if I ever had to get rid of them, I had to donate them to comic shops or toy shops, whatever. Um, there's almost no resale value unless it's like a really well done one in a character that people really want that never gets made anywhere else. So it's not impossible for it to have resale value, but it's very hard to get your money back. So if you're a collector that collects with that in mind, maybe specifically PVC statues isn't the right thing for you, because some of the resin minibus and resin 1/6 statues, the ones that are a little more expensive, they do have a little resale value, but the PVCs, it's almost non-existent. So I don't know if you
Yeah,
guys agree with that or.
Well, I
I'd
think you
say
could
it
get something.
depends. If
Sorry, Buck.
you if you sell like maybe the anime statues, at least that's what I'm more like.
Yeah,
I say like with DC Direct even and anime statues, I've had good luck selling all of them on eBay, and then there's some groups on Facebook where you might find some people.
that's
You
a good
never
point, because
you never
when
tend
I
to
was
get the
collecting
money
them, I
back.
didn't know about Facebook groups, so that does
Yeah.
exist probably.
You get maybe a little of the money back, and then on a few of them that are like highly coveted, you get like you make maybe a profit, but most of the time you make less.
Yeah, because I have a whole box in my storage unit of those Band Presto statues you were talking about. Like they just, because I don't have anywhere to put them right now, and like I bought a ton of them, and it's that all those DBZ line, like the Blood of Saiyans line. I really like that line. So I have a ton of them because they're just there, and that I don't know if there's any resale value to any of them. I don't think there is, but they
If
just
you
sit
want to
there.
sell them, talk to me. Just like a few groups on Facebook, I'll send you
Well,
an
that's good to
invite.
know. It's good to know. Um, I wanted to highlight this, Brenton, because I think we found another member in our overthinking club. Jimmy
Yeah.
says, I change my mind a lot, and getting some of these expensive statues that I get over, I have a hard time getting rid of them. When I collected Hot Toys, it was easy to keep things fresh, buying and selling. That definitely happens. I mean, things get stagnant sometimes. Sometimes you buy a piece that maybe you really loved it at the time, and then like once you get it in, you the little bit of that feeling goes away. I don't know what that is. I don't want to like paint anybody into a corner or whatever that saying is, but like, because me and Brenton were talking about this the other day. I feel like a lot of times we buy stuff for hype. Obviously, like I do that too. Like somebody just talks about something or shows off something and it's brand new and we want it, so we buy it for that. And it ends up, we don't really have a love for it. So I'm trying to think about things more now before I buy stuff. But also, the other thing I think is, I think if we don't display stuff right, it can get like you can lose some of the love when you look at it because it's just kind of there. It kind of just feels like a junk piece because it's not displayed. Like I was telling Brendan, like, what's the difference between like a museum and a warehouse? Now, you go in a warehouse, shit is just thrown everywhere, and it's nothing. But you go to a museum, it may all be junk, like old stuff, but at least it's displayed in a way that's like it's like eye catching. It's like, oh, I like this is interesting, and these things. So like, I think when we take the time to display our stuff better, I think that will take a lot of that, like he said, like getting over or that stagnant or like just
Mhm.
loss of love for pieces. I think
I
if we
think
move around our collection or display it differently, that helps.
Well, and I think to add to that, one of the problems is so what they tell you with if you listen to anything when it comes to collecting statues, especially like quarter scale and up, it's always, have a focus. You need to have a focus. But the problem with that is if you like more than a couple things, or if you have, a focus of a couple characters, you can't even go that route because of the cost of the statues to complete just one focus is more than enough, let alone having multiple focuses, if you know what I mean. So if you have like a Spider-Man focus where you want Spider-Man and then villains for him, and then you have an X-Men focus, that is a huge money pit there to
Mhm.
try and capture both of those focuses, and it's just not realistic. And then you realize you have to drop something, then you force yourself into making a decision in which way you want to go, and you're just stuck kind of going back and forth constantly. And I think
Mhm.
that's kind of what happens to me is, I don't want to spend money on something that I feel is going to be wrong for me.
Mhm.
So then I don't spend anything at all, and I just keep thinking about it.
Choice paralysis.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's like a collecting paralysis because you're like,
Mhm.
well, I have to give up something I really do enjoy because it's too much.
Mhm. I would say to even further his point, it seemed like what he was saying too is like when he collected hot toys, he was able to buy and sell them and like keep things fresh like that. You hear like because when I first started collecting, I used to do something similar with quarter scales from Sideshow, and you'd hear maybe like someone like Jam on YouTube would say something like the hobby fund itself, where like you get something in, you enjoy it for a while, and then you sell it and you use that money put it towards someone else, something else. And back in when I started collecting before like the pandemic, like you could usually get like profit on these quarter scale pieces you would buy. And um it's seeming like that's no longer the case. Even when I would sell on eBay, I could make a profit on pieces. All you needed to do is kind of wait for them to sell out. Maybe if you wanted to profit on eBay, if you sold on Facebook, you could still like get break even. Like before the piece sold out. But now it's no longer the case, right? And you kind of just have to be careful with what you pick up. But something I would say about statues appreciating in value is that the more expensive it is upfront, it means it's so there's all the added costs go up more often than not because usually more expensive means bigger, which means more boxes. So you're going to pay more in shipping. Also means more in taxes because it's more expensive. Those when you add your tax costs to your shipping costs, as on maybe like a one third prime one statue, that could be over very well over $300, right? And that's like on top of the 1,000 plus that you're going to spend on this third scale statue. And when you want to go sell in the aftermarket, no one wants to hear about paying your shipping costs that you paid initially, plus your taxes, and then paying for the retail price of the item, and then they have to pay for shipping to get it to them, and they still want them to pay PayPal fees. You're asking for all of this, so you just can't ask for that much. No one's gonna take you seriously and buy that from you. But you have a better chance when you buy maybe a statue that's maybe a premium format, a quarter scale from Sideshow that starts out at a lower price point, $500. It has a relatively low ES and it's a good look. If it's a really good looking statue, once it sells out, it usually has a very high chance of appreciating towards the $1,000 range, right? Because it
Yeah.
has more room to grow within a price range that people are able to tolerate, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I say. Generally speaking, collect what you like, but also when you want to collect what you like, also look at the um, basically, if you think it's something you might not keep indefinitely, then probably don't jump on it immediately, right?
Yeah,
If
that's a good point.
if it's like if there's a high ES for that piece, right? Or if it's a very even if it's because you might see it in the aftermarket and you'll be the person to get it off someone for a good deal, depending on a few factors. But if it's a piece you like, it's affordable now, doesn't have a high ES, buy it, right? And even if it's one that you don't think you're going to keep long term and you just want to enjoy it for a while, if you wait for the piece to sell out on the website, it's definitely going to appreciate in the aftermarket. That's basically what I've learned and seen from collecting like over the last few years.
Well, Buck, I mean that's a great point because I've argued that in the past. I think on a show before I brought up the idea of what company has the most room to grow when it comes to value, and I said Sideshow, and everybody kind of laughed at me. But my argument was always your buy-in is the lowest. So when you buy into something really expensive, the ceiling is lower on that item. Like there's going to be rare things that surpass that, but generally you're not going to be able to resell it and make a bigger gain than you would buying something lower and having that grow.
Yeah, those are good points. Um, and I definitely agree with you guys that uh, there's a higher chance of your item going up if it's a lower cost like that. There's a higher chance of it going up in value. But at the same time, like with the sideshow argument, there is a high ES as well, so it is harder for the value. It's like they kind of screw themselves in
Well,
that
it
way.
depends on the piece too, because if it
That's
has
true.
an EX,
And the character.
yeah, and how well
Um,
it's done, like
Yeah.
a Rogue EX,
Mhm.
maybe one that you could profit on.
But
there's
even
a
that one didn't have, at least the EX itself didn't have such a high ES. And it sold out like relatively early on in the product's lifeline. The collector's edition is still available now, right? But
yeah,
like that's another thing too. You gotta look at a bunch of factors. But
yeah. There's a
like
ton.
Eddie's saying, right, if it's a piece with a high ES, then you should be smart enough to say, I'm gonna wait and I'll be the one to profit off the people that are selling for low prices because it's still available on Sideshow, right? They're doing
Yeah,
their sales and they people have to compete with their sales in the aftermarket as well, you know. So
Yeah,
or you just buy it from Sideshow when it's on sale, but
exactly. I
like you
mean,
don't need to buy immediately if it's a
you're gonna
piece with
have
a
those
high ES.
opportunities with the larger ESs where you can pick things up for what Halloween, Black Friday, holiday sales, any random sales they do throughout the year. 4th of July, I think they do a sale. You
Starting to
know,
sound like cash. Be careful.
Oh,
I know, but I feel like if you wait long enough, you'll catch it, or you'll play enough games throughout those events that you'll earn enough rewards. So I've liked that mobile game that they've had to earn the rewards. I found that extremely fruitful for me to get a lot of rewards that way.
yeah. That's a pretty cool. That's a pretty cool thing that they started doing.
Did you get like $18 or something like that? It's like three, five, and
Yeah,
10.
if you you max is like 18, $20 or something.
But I mean, that's easy for, it maybe takes 20 minutes and you're going to get,
Depends.
And you're on your phone, which
That
yeah,
you're on
first
your
game,
phone
that
anyway.
first game I played for a while, that wasn't 20
Dude,
minutes.
the
well,
last level was hard.
The
Hard
I
as
figured
jumping,
out this
yeah.
newer version where you had to like just take
shoot.
the hit. Like
Mhm.
you couldn't do anything. It had to hit you and then you could hit something else and get hearts back.
Mhm.
Like till you learn how to maneuver some of that. Like they would have three solid things that went by and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm screwed.
The newest one is easy, man. But the first one, that one gave me cancer, man. I'm like,
That's funny, dude. Definitely. I'm trying to look through my pictures here because Jimmy made a good comment a while back. Sorry if I'm lagging the show behind, but so first Jimmy made this point that I highlighted that I think Brenton, I think Brenton is going through this right now, but a lot of us are. True, but it's nice to look at a statue and not also think about how much I spent on it. This is tough because I think a lot of people are thinking about this right now, just because of the simple fact that money is scarce right now, right? So
And cost keeps going up. Like you're looking at things, and it's
the
growing too fast.
that's kind of like it's a hard thing. Like that's why you got to be really careful about how you're spending your money right now, what exactly you're spending on. It's like more important now than it ever has been to be selective, to be like very very do your homework before buying a piece. Like make sure you really love something, really think on these things, because it is harder now. And the only way that I kind of overcome it is I'm making sure that I'm buying things that I really really love, like Thor, like characters that I really really love that I know I'll never want to get rid of, and then spending what I feel very comfortable on those pieces, and to budget better, to make sure like not just say, oh, I got paid this amount this week, I got a bonus, like I can throw that money here, but more like meticulous budgeting, like what do I got going on this month, what's got to be paid here, also what do I have on pre-order, what's coming soon, like more focus on that, and buying less at the same time, and picking and choosing and having lists or Excel files or whatever you do, to know, to kind of keep you on a guideline, because as collectors we can kind of just buy things on a whim, not think about what we already have on order. We're kind of all over the place. We got to be very like, we have to be on a straight and narrow path as collectors. And then so he made that point, and then he also made this point here. He's being more picky now. And then I start another comment that he talked about. Oh, okay. Eddie, for example, that guy at Frank & Sons that sells diamond statues and has those 2 cases full of them. They look great under the lighting in the display case, and they don't look cheap at all. That exactly, when I was making that point about how we display the stuff that we buy, if you display something in the right way, anything could look really good. And I was looking for pictures on my phone from Frank & Sons because I've been there quite a few times and I've taken pictures, but I didn't have any. But there is a lot of smaller scale statues, PVC statues, and all kinds of mini busts, all kinds of stuff that's displayed there that look really good, that look like a high-end collecting display. So I definitely think display is important, and I don't think we pay attention to it enough. And that doesn't mean that we have to spend a lot of money on displaying. I just think it's like when you just put more thought into how you're using what you have available to you, your space, furniture, lighting, all those things, and to use what you have available already. Like, you don't need to go out and buy Maji cases to have the best display. There's ways to do it without spending that much money. Unless you got it like that, then you can do whatever the fuck you want. But not everybody has it like that. So
I was kind of thinking that another pro maybe for the smaller scale stuff is that they don't tend to vary as much from the origin of the material. So the comic characters will look pretty close to the comic books, whereas you start getting to the other companies and they kind of put their own twist on it, or they'll add things here or there. It's more, I guess, artistic interpretation to a degree.
yeah, definitely. That was another point that that Steve made. Everything, it's all relative to your point of view, or so everything is relative to how you feel about it. It's subjective. It's all that crap that I hate.
I have a question for you, Eddie, on being
Yeah.
picky about what you buy. Do you guys ever find yourselves becoming extremely frustrated when there's like a bunch of releases in quick succession and they're all pieces you really love?
Do I get what? Sorry, I
You
heard
find
the end
yourselves
of it.
getting like frustrated, right? So
Yes.
They're
Yes.
releasing pieces and they're like good. They're all really good, and you
Yes.
love them, and they're expensive, and it's just like bam, 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 and you're just like, come on, start releasing crap. I always am happy when I see a statue that I hate from a company. It's like I don't have to buy that. It's so freeing. But when you see, it becomes extremely hard to say, oh, I'm not gonna buy these statues from this company when they're really good and like, but they're expensive. And then you get to the point where like you see a bunch of, so a statue comes out this week and then another one comes out 2 weeks later, and both of them are pricey. Maybe let's say they come from Prime One, and you want those pieces. Well, let's not even say from Prime One. It's a company where like you think, because I'm finding this is happening to me a lot with custom anime statues, and it's the company where if you don't buy it like early on in the pre-order window, it's gonna sell out, and you're not gonna miss your chance. And so it's that kind of thing,
Yeah.
like, and the price is like a couple thousand. No, not a
So
couple thousand, but like it's expensive. You get what I'm saying?
in these scenarios, what I'm telling myself lately, which is really fucking hard, is I gotta just pick the one that's most important to me and let the other ones go. Like that is the hardest thing in the collecting game is saying no. Is saying like either get one or get none, but you can't have all of them. Like you just can't. Like it's face facts. Like so that's what I'm doing more lately is I'm getting better at saying like, look, you're gonna see out. You're gonna miss out on this. It's gonna go up in value. Maybe someday you get it. Maybe you don't. But you can't get it now, and you just have to accept that. That's what like you just have to accept it. So,
Hmm.
and I tell Brenton. I used to tell Brenton this a lot when we first started talking. I kind of have this belief that I'd rather spend. So say like a statue comes out and it's $500 today. I'd rather spend $1,000 on that statue when I have $1,000 than spend 500 when I don't have 500. You get what I mean? Like to me, I feel more responsible and I feel secure with that thought process that if I don't have 500 today, it's fine. Even if I have to spend 1,000 later, if I have that 1,000 later, I'll feel secure with that. So that's kind of how I think on those things. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
you
think
guys...
that's a good way to look at it. And I think that the smaller scales, allow for more of that flexibility.
What's up, Pudgy? Definitely small scales is your topic, buddy. Yeah, I think you're right. So I think we've made a lot of good points. I think to keep us on the small statue path, I'm gonna mention these two comments quick, and then we're gonna jump into some examples of the pieces that we've been looking at. So first we have Phil says, I think you just need to accept that there will be the things you may miss out on. Just need to not be afraid of that fact. Life goes on and something else you will come along. That's exactly how I feel. Phil.
Yeah, Phil, I think we talked about that before, Eddie, where it's like you have to be okay just to let it go.
Yeah,
It's
that's
it's
hard.
okay.
It's hard because I'm telling you guys, this is a disease. This is a drug that we collect here, and
Can't do
it's
it.
rough. Ninja says I get as much pleasure from SH Figure Arts Goku than I do a $600 statue. It's the character and the product, not the size, that brings the joy. So I agree with this too. If an action figure brings you the same joy, you don't need a $600 statue. That's why I kind of think it's in the collecting community lately. Like we feel like we need to spend a lot of money on every piece. When like I kind of have this mindset of like only the best characters need the best representation in my display. So like Thor's my favorite, so I'm gonna spend $1,000 on a Thor statue because he's number one for me. So I understand why I'm paying up for that. But like, I don't need $1,000 statue of a Iron Man because like Iron Man isn't my favorite. So like maybe I get a 1/6 scale or a mini bust or a 3D bust or something else like I like that thought process as well. So, chat's going off today, guys. I love all of the interaction. I appreciate all of you, and we also have Steve just tuned in. So, what's up, Steve? Thanks for tuning in, man.
Steve
what's
had
up?
mentioned an invite.
Yeah,
You want
can
me
you
to-
send him the link?
Yeah.
Also, Pudgy, if you want the link, let me know, man. I know you're a 1/6 scale aficionado, so. Oh, we got Mark. We got everybody tuning in. What's up, Books? How you doing, man? Okay, so we are going to get into examples of pieces, and Buck, if you want us to bring up examples of any small scale stuff that you like too, like we could do that, man. Like everything, most of everything, the examples that we're gonna pull up are stuff that Brenton likes. So it's fine if we want to show off even anime, dude. I'm an anime guy as well, so I don't hate.
This will be a little biased because I was choosing
This will be a
things
little
that I
biased.
thought-
Okay, so here we have the gallery diorama Green Goblin,
Yeah,
and this
so
is on Diamond's website, but it's also available other places. But you want to go ahead and talk about this piece,
I
Brendan?
was going to say this is a PVC piece, and now this one has gotten a little more expensive, and I'm not sure what's driving up the cost because this one I think is like $120, whereas they mainly range from like 50 to 60. But just reading slowly about this, I think you can either display this sitting on the shelf or you can actually hang it on the wall. So you have potential to have like the goblin really look like he's flying.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know you could hang it on the wall. That is really cool. That's very tempting, actually. That
Yeah, and
display idea.
I was looking at this, and I think I showed Buck last night, and he kind of made fun of the cloud or the dust cloud or whatever that's supposed to be, the smoke.
Yeah.
But
Sploosh.
other than that,
Sploosh. I like that.
the portrait on the goblin is fantastic. Like that is the Green Goblin. Like if you wanted a representation, this is definitely something to look at.
Holton, we're definitely going to see a lot of Spider-Man and Spider-Man villains, so if that is not your cup of tea, close your eye. Kotobukiya 1/6 Black Panther Polystone is one of the most impressive parts of my collection. Nothing wrong with 1/6 statues at all. I think I agree with you. Kotobukiya does a lot of cool pieces, man. I've been tempted by a lot. I've had a couple. Walton says, I love Spidey, but was curious if that's what he meant by bias. Obviously, Walton, obviously. But
Yeah, and I feel like
I like this piece, Brenton. I like it a lot. I think it looks really good. I think it's a good representation of classic Green Goblin with the classic glider there. And then I didn't know that you could hang it on the wall, so that's an even cooler aspect. So it says pre-order now. So is it not available?
no.
Is this like a... What's
I
up here?
think I swear I've seen it like one or two places that you could get it, but a lot of places have it up for pre-order right now.
And this is a diorama, so it's PVC, the gallery diorama. What scale is this? Is
I
this
believe they're all
1/7?
1/7.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's their distinction is when it says Diamond Select Gallery Diorama, those are all PVC pieces. That's how you'll know right away. Anything labeled with that Gallery Diorama.
Okay, let's take a look at the next piece that we're checking out right now, which is another Spidey villain, the Vulture. This is another good one. It's a very XM pose. Like, I'm not saying XM did it first, but like that it has that same kind of pose that the XM Vulture has.
Yeah, and the wings look good. Probably the only thing that really sticks out to me about this one as a con is like the eyebrows seem a little too gray or white on the Vulture.
I wish I could zoom in here. If I open it and then pull it up, but yeah, I can see what you're saying there.
But I think you can live with that for what you're getting. As I think all of the Sinister Six is up for pre-order right now, except for Mysterio. I think he's available.
Oh, nice. You know what I like about the base on this? Like the webbing using him to like lift him up, it's cool because it has that effect that Spider-Man stuck him to that rooftop or wherever he's at, and he's trying to fly away, but he's stuck with the webbing.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like that aspect of it. That's pretty cool. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. We have another gallery diorama piece. Is
With these small scales, Brenton, do you prefer like how do you feel about them packing tons of detail into them? What scale is this? It's like 1/7.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about them packing a bunch of detail into the?
You
Do you
know,
prefer it a little less detailed or more detailed?
no, I like what they've been doing. I think they're doing a really good job, and I made the joke to Eddie that this Craven looks better than the XM one.
That's true.
So
you know, it's funny. I think it looks a lot like the custom that everybody likes. That I think the portrait looks a lot like that custom that people want. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so. Yes. It's got like
Yeah, that one. The one that
This-
has like a lot of portrait switch ups.
lots of portraits. It is like kind of a statue of a lion at the bottom.
Yeah.
This looks extremely good. I think it's the best one that I've seen out of the ones Brenton likes, and I feel like this has a really good balance of detail. Like he's got like all the fur, like the fur has like the most detail when it comes to what's on his body. Then even the base is not too overwhelming. It's like a nice balance of like there's just what to focus on, and there's not too much like stuff that's like making things hard to make out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get less is more sometimes.
I mean, look at the way that lion is done on his vest. Like that detail actually looks really good there.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of shading in that part too. In the lion with the fur, there's a different painting there, and I think that they did the cheetah print really well, or leopard or whatever. I think it's cheetah. Looks really good, and then you got. I really love the portrait. I think the portrait looks painted well. And then, like Buck said, like I feel like it's the good blend between a lot of detail but not too much going on. So this is probably my favorite that we've looked at so far too. And I think I said that when Brenton sent them to me. I was like, that the Craven is really well done. So.
Yeah.
Oh, look at we got someone. Hold on, really quick, guys. We got another member joining. We got Arnold. What's up?
Come on, stop it.
Like
How are you?
Feel the pound.
What's up, boys? What's going on?
So man.
And checking out the
Man,
small
just
stuff.
chilling.
Yeah.
It's not the size; it's how you display it, right?
Damn straight. That's what I
Thank
tell her
you.
all the time.
I'm really not a
What's up,
a
Erwin?
DC guy normally, but when it comes to the smaller scale stuff, my favorite company for like comic book things is actually DC Direct.
That's
Yeah.
a good. They're a good one too. I like a lot of their pieces as well. I used to collect
Good stuff.
when I first started collecting Hot Toys and all, like a little bit bigger scale than when I was doing figures. A line that I really loved was the Bombshells from DC Direct.
Yes.
Yes. I did get a little turned off with their paint because like sometimes you get a portrait in and it'd be a little wonky. Like, so I like to buy them in person more than just ordering them. I like to get them secondhand so I could see the paint, or like if the comic shop had it or something. But I did love that line. And then some of the artist specific pieces that they had, like
They had like the artist series.
yeah, with the Batman and Harley and Joker, different ones. Those are really cool. So
The most addictive
look at this.
DC Direct statues were those
What's
Batman
up?
black and whites.
Hey, Steve.
Oh,
Dude, everybody, what the hell did work just let out? We got another. What the hell's happening here?
uh-oh.
I'm sorry.
You know what it is, Brenton? It's like it's not cool until you start talking about it. Then all of a sudden, everybody's like, "Okay, I want to." No,
I
I'm
have an
just kidding.
opinion.
I'm just playing, guys. I'm glad you guys all joined, man. Appreciate you.
I just stumbled across it. I was like, oh shit! I said, Eddie's cast it. Okay.
Yeah, we kind of did this last minute.
I like these kind of discussions.
Yeah, here's the next piece we're talking about in the gallery diorama line. We have Doc Ock here, classic representation.
And I feel like the face isn't perfect on this one, but it's not enough to deter from just picking it up, at least maybe as a placeholder till they do something better. But
Isn't he a little too skinny, Brenton?
I think he's fluctuating.
He is kind of
sometimes. Sometimes he's really rotund. Sometimes he's a little on the thinner
It's all
side.
the angle you look at him, you know.
You shouldn't
Okay.
judge Brenton. He has weight issues. It fluctuates.
He's big boned.
we all have these problems.
I like the way the water was done. On the
Yeah,
nose.
I
think
mean,
that looks good.
It looks good for what it is,
Absolutely.
and
That's
I
what
like that
think
he's
the say,
elevated.
right? How much is this?
I think you're looking at like the $60 mark.
I was
somewhere
going to
around
say probably
It's
60.
an incredible price
There
point.
you go.
You know?
Brenton's on point.
He did his homework, man.
If you pay $60 for this, I mean, you're gonna be happy with it because
What's up, Cash?
$60.
Well,
Does
yeah,
this
I
ever
mean,
get in your mind, Brenton? Like 10 of those equals one statue, basically?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
well, no, I mean, like,
Or
if
like
you look
9
at
if you
that-
want to do an XM.
Imagine like you do the Sinister Six of these.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then try and do the Sinister Six of the XM
No, I'm sorry,
statues.
9.
And you tell me, look at the price differences. Like I could do these for what, $300 maybe. I could have everything, whereas like 5,000 for the XM.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, XM. I mean, you're not even factoring in shipping when you do that.
No, and like I've said before, is that you're also going to have to live with some compromises because they will change
Oh.
things.
That looks
I mean, with the Spidey line, it's very minimal. They bastardize the X-Men line a lot more than they bastardize Spidey.
That's
This
true,
is
but
good.
I know that there's enough differences, like in the Green Goblin, the way he's done. Mysterio is pretty good. Electro is good.
So
Scorpion seems weird because, that's the anomaly in that line. That's probably the most expensive one, and he has some of the biggest costume changes.
Here's the first like live action representation that we're seeing on a diorama piece. This is
company
the
in this?
Moon Knight.
This is Diamond Select.
Yeah, same series, just different character, but this is I think this is really well done. I think
Yeah.
it
Did
looks
I
you
tried
like
to
the
get
Moon
it.
Knight series, Eddie?
Huh?
Did you like the Moon Knight series?
Absolutely not.
But this looks good overall. Like if you didn't know this was a show or anything, or if you didn't like associate this with a
Jesus.
show,
Yeah. Yeah.
stands,
Just
stands
based
out.
on the character. I like the way they're upping their game for small scale with as far as how they're advertising the piece. Just putting a backdrop,
Yeah.
making it more collectible-ish and less toyish.
Erwin says the fun thing about the Diamond Select pieces are the classic comic
The
book look for
classic.
the characters. I tend to
Absolutely.
lean more in these scales and this company. I tend to lean more to comic representation over movie myself.
How much
And
is this, and what scale is it?
It's still 1/7, and I still think it's
1/7.
around the $60 mark.
I think all gallery diorama pieces are 1/7.
$60.
Guys,
and
think
they're
about
usually-
that. This is bigger than an Iron Studios piece, and it looks this good.
Yeah.
And it looks like Iron
That's-
Studios pretty much.
And it's
Looks
cheaper
better.
by a significant amount.
And I have to say, I think they kind of look better in person because I know I showed Buck the one that I got, just images I sent to him, and he didn't really like it. And then he hit me up yesterday after seeing like my photos taken, and he said he kind of appreciated it a little bit more after seeing it that as opposed to just the white background that was in the photo.
Yeah. Ninja Squirrel says, looks nice, Moon Knight, fair play. At least with Diamond Select, no matter the budget, you can build a collection of your You can build a collection. Fucking lost my place.
Basically,
Of
you're
your
collecting
income
by
or
your
lifestyle doesn't allow you to collect way bigger pieces. If your
Yeah.
income or lifestyle doesn't allow you to collect
Yeah.
way bigger pieces. So
Well, and then you run into the space issue though. Like this isn't gonna have a large footprint.
No, you could have a very large collection.
more pros and cons on smaller scale now with all the high-end details. Yeah.
You know what I was thinking about right now? This gets so popular. You know, we're in the very beginning of it. I mean, it's popular, I'm sure, like amongst these collectors, but like a year from now, it starts growing. They start pumping them out, and then they have the same arguments as we do. Oh, they're coming out with a variant. Hell, what the hell? You know,
Oh,
they're coming
God,
out with
no.
different colorways. What the fuck? Like,
So,
like-
like so many things in life, everything's kind of cyclical. You know,
mhm.
what
That's
was
true.
old is new, and same
Yeah.
thing with collecting.
No, it wasn't you, Ninja. I have a small screen and then things pop up and cover things. It's all a process here. But next piece we're looking at is Electrode from the same gallery diorama line.
Yeah, and I like
Spiky
this
man.
one. I mean, the lightning bolt things are kind of the weak part of it. You know, they're gonna look not the greatest, but I could even argue that I saw that Prime 1 New 52 Flash when they did lightning bolts, and those
Yeah.
things look like plastic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's the same effect. It's a very similar effect.
But just,
Which
you
is
know,
funny.
they're...
I was
Sorry,
saying,
Pudgy.
it's funny. I got that piece, and I bought it because of those lightning effects. I was like, man, I always look for something a little more dynamic, and I was like, okay, at least they're trying to make something look like lightning. You know? I like it.
So you're talking about the Prime One piece, Joe?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay.
It's about-
I didn't know you had.
it's
Is it?
It's about the only piece I don't have room to display it. I don't have display
Oh,
in the
okay.
box still.
But look at the details on the suit. Like, did you see that there, Eddie? Like, when you zoomed in, like,
The folds.
The bunching.
all the folds and everything.
Yeah,
Like
good
that.
texturing, good shading looks like, and musculature here. And
But is that
Yeah,
even
looks
accurate to his costume?
who knows? I don't know.
You know something I gotta say really quick about Diamond Select? They always
Yeah.
show up to every con that I've been to. New York Comic Con,
It's true.
See that?
all the Comic Cons, and like when you see them, it's like there's people there, and they go like, hey, you know, do you have any questions and stuff like that?
And the guy, the main guy is usually there. I forget his name, but he's on. You know, a lot of people on YouTube will do interviews with him and tours, and he's a cool guy.
Is that Chuck?
Yeah, I think it is.
Chuck.
Toy Quest, Miguel at Toy Quest did an interview with him. And I know Shartimus Prime has done it in the past. And look at this guy. Buck is an in closet action figure guy.
Yeah, you hear it?
Yeah. But yeah, he's really cool, and they're really passionate about their pieces, and so that's really fun to see, because like you'll never see Sideshow on anything
Sideshow.
but their own stream, and they're not like, it feels forced, it feels fake love. They're like, it's very cheesy, corny.
It's very car salesman-ish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
It's in a
and
sanitized environment.
I always feel like this is something like a company we don't ever talk about. Like whenever there's statue shows, like these are just, you know, they're never gonna make the cut for those kinds of shows. But I think there's quality stuff to be had out there.
You know, it's funny that you say that, Brenton, because like you know, I've been trying to move my statues and everything, and today I received my first Hot Toys, and when it arrived, I have like a little nice how you pronounce it, Adirondack chair.
Adirondack.
Yeah, one of those chairs, and I was like, oh man, there's a squirrel or something is on top of my chair, and I was like,
it's the box.
oh yeah, it's the little box, and I was like, what the freak is? I didn't order shoes. I let go of shoes a long time ago, and yeah, it was a Hot Toy. I was so
Wow.
pissed.
Oh,
Order
that's funny.
shoes. That's hilarious.
This is the
that-
best one so far.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the Sandman.
Isn't this a beautiful thing? Look at the size.
I actually like that
Oh,
Sandman's
yeah.
pretty good.
What the hell?
It's so
Is that for Hot
comfortable.
Toys?
I got it fits on screen.
I can
wait,
hug it.
Well, that's
I'm
That's
screenshotting
Sideshow.
that. That's going to be the next chill the F out thumbnail, by the way.
that's a Sideshow brand though too, and those boxes are even smaller than Hot Toys.
Yeah, it's so cute. It's such a cute box.
But
I've said
Smaller
that
than the
before.
freaking statue. It's crazy.
no, I saw this one, and this one really had my attention. I was like, this looks actually a really cool version
Yeah,
of
I mean,
Sandman.
honestly, I think it looks better than the XM does.
Uh,
For what it is, I mean, I think that you like the XM. Did you like the XM concept? I didn't appreciate that much,
Go ahead,
honestly.
Buck.
This is
I like XM, but that one is freaking huge. Like to
Yes.
get that in your collection, that thing is massive.
for a B list villain.
I actually think the pose is better to me on this one. Like I prefer this. I don't love the XM pose. It just seems very awkward piece to display, in my opinion. But
Or is
that's
it just
me.
that weird like sand tunnel wrapping around him in the XM?
And that, like that his arms are stretched out each way, and like I don't love that pose at all, honestly.
Yeah,
But,
it looks really awkward in my opinion too.
So that's the last of the diorama pieces that Brenton sent me. Now
Yeah, there's
we're
so
gonna-
much more. I would say. Sorry, Eddie.
There's a ton, but we just wanted to give a few examples.
That's
So,
good, man. That's really nice ones.
Next, we're going to talk about a couple. We're going to stay with Diamond, but we're going to go into a little bit higher end. The Premier line, I think.
Yeah, those are the
Um,
ones that are actually resin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Time for you. If you're poor, time to step out. Get into the premier line.
Oh man,
God.
Diamond.
not that expensive.
If you're poor, Stefan.
Diamond hands.
Don't,
Way
don't
to be
listen to Buck.
inclusive, Buck. Wow.
No,
You hate
these are
to see
still
it.
probably far more affordable than most Iron
I know.
Studios.
I know. I like that was a joke. I know you guys know it's.
I know.
Yeah, it was a joke. I got you. Dog. I have a couple links to pull up, so Brenton, if you wanna
Well,
talk
Steve,
about anything, you're good.
Steve, what hot toy came in today?
It is the what's her name? The armor.
Just be careful your address.
Oh, did it show? Oh no, it didn't show. The armor, and I got it from one of the viewers. Man, it was really cool. He gave me like a
Oh.
crazy deal, and
That's awesome.
yeah, I'll try to unbox it tomorrow or something. But yeah, it's my first one.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I mean that one always looked cool. For being a Toy Fair exclusive for like 2021 and still being in stock.
Yeah. So glad to have it, man. Gives me more. Just looking at the box, man, I was just like, I can't believe it. That's a statue. So I have like the 3 or 4 statues downstairs, the boxes and everything, because I sold them, and I put it right next to it. I was just like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, you don't have to
Boxes are-
worry about where am I going to store these boxes.
Yeah.
So are you exclusively Mando, or are you exclusively
Mando's
Star Wars?
Mando's the key right now, but everyone keeps telling me I'll change eventually.
Wow.
Okay.
You can just see
Okay.
the big jump in like quality.
So this is a premier statue, so slightly, well, pretty expensive,
350.
350. This is these are 1/6 scale, no, Brenton?
I
think
thought
so.
they're kind of 1/7, but he's a bigger character. It says it's 17 inches tall, so it's not like I don't know how big are most like 1/6 tweeter heads. I know Bowens are what usually around 12
They're
inches.
around that same. They're around that same
Roughly.
scale.
Bowens were always called 1/6, but they're really more close to like a 1/7 scale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they tend to be undersized.
So
Especially
is their
compared to
X-Men
modern
line
ones.
Gotta make
purely
sure-
Sentinel based?
It differs on each piece, I think. I think a lot of them have Sentinel pieces on them, but they're different. We're gonna look
I
at
don't
a
know. I
couple
don't know. It's
different
just a
X-Men
personal
characters.
thing with me. I prefer my X-Men not with Sentinel or Danger Room bases. That's what everyone does.
Yeah, I think
You could address
screwed
this
there,
base with a handkerchief. You could just put a handkerchief over it and it's
There you
problem
go.
solved.
I think this is a really cool stat. I like the blue highlights on the musculature, the steel parts, and then I think you can see a difference too between the PVC and the. This is resin, their premier line. So
Remember what I was saying about detail?
yeah,
I prefer the statue so much to the others because they're not like putting too much texture where it shouldn't be.
Right.
Like there's a
Here.
certain yeah, right. There's a certain size where if you try to put like texture into the statue, it starts looking like you're cramming too much into a small canvas.
Too busy. Almost
Right.
It's
too
too
busy.
busy.
Basically, what he's saying is he hates XM.
Look, you have almost a whole Sentinel there. That's
I
great.
won't
Look at that.
confirm nor deny.
So that was one. We're gonna take a look at another XM or X-Men piece right now.
Now he's got
Sorry.
XM on the brain.
Yeah. This one I actually like a lot, mostly
it's
because
Bishop.
this character is not done enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
So,
gonna say
Yeah,
that.
so you're not kidding. You basically custom or Iron Studios or this.
And I think they nailed this. Like, if this was done this way in quarter scale, I think it'd be great. Walton wouldn't be a fan of the Sentinel base, but I think that's gonna happen regardless, man. I just think,
Well,
Walton?
yeah, I
Walton
get it.
Sentinels.
That's what people like.
yeah, but I think it looks really sick. I like the musculature a lot. I really should shout out sculptors more. I know like there's a lot of people that are good at remembering who sculpted what, because even these diamond selects, they have a lot of sculptors that we know in the custom community and in like 1/4 scale statues. So as a lot of them are the same sculptors.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah, I forget the
this
price
is
point
a
on
really
this
good
one.
one. And this is tempting for me.
250.
This is tempting for me because I am an X-Men fan. I just don't have the space for a huge quarter scale line, so I kind of would be interested in this line. And this one's limited to 3,000 pieces as well. Sometimes they will have an ES on these.
He is
Yeah, I think
sculpted
all the
by
premier
Alejandro
line
Pereira
is 3,000.
There you go.
So, in your X-Men lineup, who do you actually care about, Eddie?
Bishop would be cool. Obviously, the main, you know,
Cable.
like Wolverine, Jean Grey, Psylocke, Cyclops,
Yes.
Shut up, Buck.
Beast,
Good boy.
Beast. Who am I forgetting? Oh,
See, I was
Gambit,
always
Rogue.
like Gambit.
Yeah, Gambit, Rogue. I like all the main, and then like the more obscure ones for me would be like Bishop, Archangel, or Angel, either one.
Angel's not that obscure.
They're kind of like, they're not the main ones, you know what I mean?
Yeah. they're
Like
not the most
Psylocke,
true
Archangel,
current
Bishop. Those are like the future mutants, no?
Well,
Like,
Angel
they're
was
not-
I
an
think
original.
technically in the
Original
first release,
X-Men.
Yeah,
Angel is part of the original X-Men.
I guess he is. He is part of that.
Did you say
first
Beast?
appearance. Yeah, I love Beast. I think Beast is underrated.
Because I think they have a gallery diorama of him, and he's like doing a handstand with one hand. That looked pretty cool.
You would want Beast in blue fur, right? Though not Beast without hair.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah,
That's the other thing we didn't mention, right? At this scale, they can do really dynamic stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
And which is cool because I'm a fan of dynamic pieces. Erwin says
Yeah, you don't
kind
have
of
to worry
wish
about
the
like.
gallery
Okay.
pieces were in 1/6. Their take on these pieces will be a sure hit for Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age comic fans. I agree. I have a little bit of a problem with like 1/7 and obscure scales. I prefer 1/6, 1/4, like even 1/5 is obscure, right? Like I like just the main scales because it's easier. It's easier. It's more. More companies do those scales, so it's just easier to fit into a collection. When you get into like 1/7 and stuff, it's kind of tricky. You can fudge certain characters in, I guess, with a 1/6 line, but yeah, I prefer 1/6.
Well, and I feel like these are the new Bowens, like around the 12-inch.
Yeah.
And like kind of similar price point. Like they've kind of filled that spot now.
A mainstream.
I could see that.
Absolutely.
Look, you got some texturing there in the scarf,
Yeah.
different to the chest, and I love this vein work in the arm. Like I think this looks really good.
I mean, to a certain degree, this is more texture than your average size showpiece.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, pretty similar. Next piece we're
Eddie?
gonna take a look at is.
If I may, Eddie.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, Dirty Harry.
This looks. That's
This
close.
is amazing.
Here, hold on. Let me full screen.
Was that a hot toy?
No,
That's
It's a
actually made by
1/6
Sideshow.
scale. Yeah.
Go ahead.
it's painted so well. At least from what I can see.
Hey.
Can you put your
They
hand
captured it.
behind him? His head?
Yeah, to give a focus.
Yeah.
What do you think of it, Pudgy? Is
I'm
that one of
quite
your
happy.
first 1/6 in? Is that your first?
This is
or-
my second one, but the first one was like 10 years ago.
Okay.
It was the
I can
first
feel him
modern one.
calling me punk right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
feel
no,
lucky?
listen, I've looked at that face on screen many a time, and
I'm gonna buy it right now.
it captures it. It captures
Are
it.
you now?
And the most impressive is the 44 Magnum. His cylinder slides out to reload.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
I
that's
like
cool.
that.
That's awesome.
the
Is
little
that
things,
plastic or
man.
is that metal?
It's plastic.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I was curious if they would use die cast on that or not.
I'm pretty sure.
Depends
it
on
feels
the
like it's
company.
plastic.
A lot of times you will see it in metal. Walton,
Really?
it just depends. Yeah. So,
It's well painted and everything.
Oh, fuck this.
Ninja says, "Dirty Harry, nice Desert Eagle with it. I hope. Man with no name is very tempting."
44 caliber. Must say poor for him.
Erwin says, "Yep, Brenton, kind of agree with you. Minus the PVC material, I appreciate the loyalty to the comic book look for the characters." So,
Yeah. I wasn't sure I was going to like the PVC. And I actually thought it had more heft to it than I ever realized.
here's the next piece. Is Human Torch from Fantastic Four. This is
Oh,
200. That same Premiere line. This one is also limited to 3,000 pieces.
14 inches.
I didn't know that you could see sculptors down here, but I don't think this one says like the other one.
Yeah, it might if you scroll down.
Claiborne Moore.
Or
Claiborne
maybe
Moore.
Do you see?
Yeah.
it? Oh, yeah.
Claiborne
Yeah.
Moore.
Yeah,
Yeah, who's
sculpted
been
box.
around. Claiborne Moore has been around.
Oh,
since
hand
I've
sculpted.
been
You
in
don't
this
see that
hobby.
very often these days.
You'll see that too, hand sculpted and hand painted. Actually,
Yep.
a lot of the
Yep.
time.
Well,
Well,
hand
hand
painted is a given, but hand sculpted is a very rare nowadays.
Is hand painted?
Everything's usually
Junior?
done in ZBrush.
I thought usually factories paint things
Well,
like.
yeah, but still by hand.
By hand.
Oh, really?
By
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was like a computer kind of thing.
no. It's
What's this character called again?
Human
Low-wage
Torch.
labor.
Human Torch.
Human Torch. I'm just looking up the YouTube video to see if they have, a video on it.
I think it's cool that they put in the lines. Like that's like a classic.
Oh my god!
That's,
I didn't
yeah.
know that Claiborne Moore is CS Moore.
Yeah.
Those are his initials, right? CS
That's the
Moore.
way he's drawn with those lines too. That's quite
He
cool.
Yeah,
sculpted the
that's cool.
Spider-Man one that I bought, so I'm hoping that comes next week. But
Oh, there's an Iceman that pairs with it. Wow.
Is this out now or it's coming out?
I think this
is on
one's
pre-order. I
available.
think. Well, it's
it
not
says add to
available
cart,
here.
right?
I could share my screen to show you
Buy
guys
now.
the video. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve. I'll put it up.
What's funny is as expensive as the larger scales that we all get are, one of the major topics we all debate about is it an accurate representation? It's not comic accurate, isn't it the other thing? And yet these are inexpensive, and none of us has pretty much had any debate about it. They pretty much nail the comic to the T. There's no debate.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, that's. And then the fire actually looked good. The resin flame that they have at the base.
Yes. See now
Oh,
I
that's
have
a nice man.
I
have
like that
two-
Iceman.
I have two Human Torches, and one Bowen is similar to this pose, but it's not in resin. And then there's another Bowen that's in like a museum pose, and it's all in that fiery resin. And
That's
this
so
is kind of cool because it's a marriage of the both of them. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you think this would yellow, or do you think it's probably good from yellow?
If it yellows, it'll be a decade from now, and the pieces serve this. It's
For
the
the
price
200
No, I just
bucks,
didn't
you
know.
probably paid
Right.
for it.
I have, again, I've said before on other streams, I have a Bowen that's done in this clear resin of the Invisible Girl, and she's still clear and invisible. And I bought it
That's very cool.
secondhand.
Look at that. I was going to show you this real quick. Look at that. That looks so good.
It does look really good. Translucent resin is nice. I think
like that.
Yeah, if it's done
resin
right,
flame,
translucent resin's great.
I
Usually, I
think
don't
it
see that
looks
good
better
until I-
than
Oh, look at that!
like the way XM does it sometimes.
You see the
It's
fire
got
kind
like
of
a, it's
ripping
got
out
like
of
a
it.
haze on it, or maybe that's the light, the light from the. I think it's just a flash, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe.
You guys are opening up the
like
door to Pandora's box.
Oh, it's the same thing, It's,
Nah, what did Buck say? Nah.
Nah,
That's funny. Nah.
It's not like,
I like
that.
that.
I don't know. I'll tell you this, right? These are cool, but out of all the companies, I'd say Diamond Select's at the bottom for me. Because there's a way they do this stuff. Basically they're like XM of the smaller scale. That's why I don't like it.
Oh, great.
We're too
I
poor
don't
for
see any
Buck.
blackwash on those, Buck. How can you call them the XM?
It's not blackwash. The detail stuff.
Oh, this is cool too.
So this
Yeah,
is
I
bullseye.
sent this to
Go ahead.
Cash. I think he's really interested about getting this one.
I sent this to you. This was on sale on Black Friday on Amazon.
It's so creepy.
Yeah, it is a pretty creepy portrait.
And I love the detail, like the target in the front is
Hey,
Daredevil.
baby, come here.
Yeah, I like that too, Brenton.
Yeah.
That's cool. It is really cool. Let's see what the price is on this. It $175.
That's not bad.
Also limited to 3,000 pieces. And also
That's
Clayburn
too.
Moore here.
I agree, Buck.
Sabretooth? Oh. It's on to the left. To the left. Sorry. My bad.
You want to look at the Avatar statue? Is that what you're asking about?
We're gonna
this
we're gonna get into those right now. Buck.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. My bad.
The animated series stuff. We can actually
Is
start
that
with this
is he?
one. if you want.
Okay, no. Okay, so it's the
We can
base.
go ahead and start with
First,
this.
I thought they put jeans on Sabretooth. Like, what the fuck's going on here?
So
But,
awesome.
Okay, really quick before we talk about this, Brenton, do you want to go over the differences in the Diamond Gallery versus Premiere versus Milestone stuff?
Sure. I mean, we've covered some of it already, where the gallery is where you're going to find your PVC pieces. The Premiere is your resin, and then it seems like their Milestone line is, I don't know, I'm not 100% sure if it's resin or polystone, but it's like their top of the line branding. And they've done a lot of Star Wars in that, and I think it's mainly 1/6 too.
Yeah, there's some 1/7, but a lot of it is 1/6. Phil says, unfortunately, a lot of you guys have experienced high-end collectibles, and these smaller pieces just don't hit the same. They are great for this price point, but most of us have been spoiled. I agree. It's about finding what you like about these, and what separates it from a high-end collectible. Like, for instance, we're gonna get into the animated pieces in the minibus, and a lot of the times the cell shading and things like that for those pieces. What are you doing here with your little? What is
Hey,
that?
I have no statues behind me,
You
but
got
I'm still
a pig
collecting.
of Walton.
Is that your statue
You
selection?
motherfucker.
Mother.
I'm just playing Walton, man.
You got to read Pudgy's comment a little bit after that.
What, this
my
one?
response
The
to
recent
Phil?
one?
Yeah.
Phil, what is say
What
is
you
true-
say,
what
what
you
you
say
say.
is true for a lot of collectors, but fortunately I'm a child and it doesn't matter.
It's a new toy.
That's my new answer.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
No, he's not
you
wrong.
have
A
to,
lot of
no,
people
no,
you
get
have
jaded.
to, you have to find. There's good things to find about these smaller pieces. There's diamonds. There's Diamonds in the Rough, Diamond Select. That was a good hunt, man. But there's
Select your diamond.
like the cell shading aspect to these mini busts that we're gonna talk about, which I'll just fucking bring them up. The panel lining and cell shading that makes it look like an animated series piece is really cool.
God, it walks
Um,
out
Those are
of
the
you
only
know,
ones.
the 90s
Those are the only ones I
cartoon.
would buy from Diamond Select. These cell shaded pieces, freaking awesome.
Yeah, you're allergic to this. I can appreciate it though. The
Oh, these are
effect.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
These are awesome.
I mean,
I think from
probably
far away I could appreciate him, but I would it'd be hard to appreciate him if you look at him up close.
It's like the simplicity is.
When
is
you
key.
take into a fact how much they cost, Walton, I don't
Yeah.
think it brings anything down about it because they're only
It's your level of
$50.
expectations.
I
Yeah.
think he's a little more expensive too because he's slightly bigger. Like some of the smaller ones, I don't think they're.
These are 1/7, by the way. These aren't 1/6, or most of
Oh,
them
they're
are
pretty big.
1/7.
And they are resin, so
They're resin. They're limited pieces. This is designed by Barry Bradfield, sculpted by Paul Hording. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but
Hey, Money, really quick question. For the previous ones, were those limited or just
Yeah.
these? Oh, they were?
the
yeah,
the premiere stuff was. The gallery stuff is not.
correct.
Most of the time, there will be some gallery pieces that are limited, usually like exclusives and things like that, but not most of the time. Those pieces aren't limited at
By
all.
that you mean it's not a numbered edition?
Yeah. Sorry. Okay, let me bring up some of the other mini busts that Brenton sent me. I think he only sent me one actually, but there's a ton. We'll probably take a look at all
Yeah, I
the
think-
mini busts because there's a ton of them. But
I think they nailed most of the X-Men from the animated series. I think they're pretty close to completing that.
here's another one. From the Spider-Man animated series, we have Doc
Yeah, see, that
Ock.
wasn't doesn't bother me. Like when they tried to do the face detail on Sabretooth, it looked kind of bad.
And
This
I
looks
think I
really
sent
cool,
you
dude.
the Green Goblin one too. That's coming.
Did you?
Yeah, I thought I sent that to you.
I don't believe you did, you liar. But I'll look.
I'm full of it. Huh?
I like this one as well. He's got that crimson chin
Oh.
though.
I like the reference, Buck. I appreciate
Joe, do you know who the Fairly Odd Parents are?
I know
Hell
what?
yeah. Who the hell
Who the
doesn't
Fairly
know?
Odd Parents
Oh,
are?
Joe may not.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him. I
Oh,
don't
okay.
know the
Okay.
characters.
So yeah, this one's
I
a
was
little
just
cheaper
curious.
than the Sabretooth, Brenton, that we were mentioning. Also sculpted by Paul.
Are they the
Harding.
ones who did the Scotty Young pieces? I thought it was Gentle Giant.
Yeah, I think they do.
They do.
Well,
This is also available. I think this is done by Gentle Giant as well. It's
But
just
it's
available on Diamond.
Diamond Select. That's so
Yeah.
weird.
Because
I
these
think
are
they
Gentle
own or
Giant
something.
as well.
They must
They
own
do?
Gentle Giant or something.
Are you serious? If they do, because I
Yeah.
prefer Gentle Giant products to like the
So they
Diamond
don't-
Select.
They don't own Gentle Giant, I don't think. I think the way it works is it's like a sister company or a subsidiary company, if that's the right word. So Gentle Giant does sculpting for them, sculpting work and painting work, and then they sell it, they distribute it, and Gentle Giant does work for other companies as well.
So
But I don't know if it's a sister company or a
is it like the
subsidiary.
Tweeterhead Sideshow alliance?
Kind of
It
like
is
that,
also is Diamond Select also the company that does distribution for comics like Diamond?
yeah.
They used to, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Diamond.
so they got it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they in 2020 they dissolved or whatever. Wow.
That's why you can order a lot of this stuff through previews, which is what the comic book stores use. So all this, that's why you'll see like those weird numbers, and it's what the number is to order it through your previews magazine for the comic shop if they wanted to order any of this.
So, since we're on these yeah, they have what the hell? Oh, I guess that's not a
Is
link.
that Deadpool?
Yeah, they have Deadpool. They did a bunch of Spider-Man animated series and
A bunch. They only did 4.
Doctor Doom, it looks like.
I thought they did a bunch.
No, they did Mysterio, Doc Ock, and Spider-Man, and then Unmasked Spider-Man, and then Spider-Man with Spider-Sense.
I'm gonna pull up Gentle Giants.
They did 3 of Spider-Man.
Yeah, because the Unmasked is one, and then his Spider Sense when he would like glow in the cartoon, that was a con exclusive for I think SDCC.
Oh, okay.
And then they have Green Goblin is coming out. That's the one that's going to release this year.
Okay, so I did a video recently on Gentle Giant, so if you guys want like a super in-depth look at their website and how everything works, check out that video. We're just going to look at some of the stuff they offer really quick. But this is the line that I'm interested in. This is the mini bus line, and they have
Clone Wars.
They have Clone War. This is Rebels. They have Clone Wars,
Okay.
Rebels, Mandalorian, some movies like Rogue One, OT. They have prequel figures as well. They have all kinds, but I'm interested in the Rebels and the Clone Wars line. And then they have 1/7 scale mini bus, and they have 1/6 scale. I prefer the 1/6 scale. I just got the Cad Bane from the Clone Wars. That's 1/6 scale, and this is one on pre-order. This is Zeb. From Star Wars Rebels, but I think these are really well done, and I think the paint's even better on these ones.
Zeb's
I'll
dead,
be honest.
baby.
Yeah,
I've never actually seen the show, but I've seen clips, and it looks accurate to the.
This is a
I would
bigger
like to get some
character,
pancakes.
so he is a little more expensive. You got 130 here. The Cad Bane was around 90 or 100. And then like when it comes to shipping, you get free shipping. When you spend a certain amount, and then taxes, it usually comes out to like this price, 130 ish. But they also go on sale a lot. You see them on Amazon, different distributors, different retailers. So there's always deals to be found. But these are limited to different. They have different edition sizes. Like the Cad Bane that I got, I think is 3,000, but there's a con exclusive one that was 500 that comes with an extra piece. They're all different limitability, but here is another from Rebels. You have Hera and Chopper. This is a 2-pack set. This is sold out on their site, but it's available in other places like Big Bad. But this is mainly my interest in the minibus. These are really cool, and I think they look exactly like the animated series, so I think they're really cool.
I'm being enabled.
Oh, you hate to
What, you actually like Star Wars?
No, not this. No, I want to go look at the like Spider-Man
Okay.
stuff.
We're gonna take a look at this one, and then
Minibus.
we'll jump over to Spider-Man. This is Ahsoka Tano from Rebels
That
with
looks
her
neat.
little force-guided owl there.
Oh, she's a lot older in Rebels.
Yeah, yeah. So really cool pieces. This is my interest. The base. One thing to note: the bases between the 1/6 scale and the 1/7 are different. That's how you tend to know which is which. The 1/7 has, they're similar, but they're designed slightly different.
So, in terms of when she shows up at Mandalorian, out like where is that between Rebels and Clone Wars?
It's after. It's way after Rebels, because Rebels is before. Rebels is. Fuck, Walton, you're gonna fuck me up right now because I'm trying to think of the timelines. I want to say Rebels is after. Well, it's not. I guess it's not way later, because Rebels is right after the OT trilogy ends, because it's right when
Okay.
Darth Vader becomes Darth Vader. That's where Rebels starts off, when Vader starts. So. Oh, so that's like right after the prequels, before the OT. It's like right in between there.
I was just curious because she didn't look that old in Mandalore, and yet they made her look.
In the
at least
live
in my
action
opinion.
series, you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. And also, people were upset about that because her, I think they're called legues. Her tusks around her, which is her
Okay.
hair, they're supposed to be longer when she's older. So
Okay.
people were upset that they were so short. Which,
You
now
should
that I'm
still buy
thinking about it,
product type.
kind of reminds me of XM Jean Grey, the small chest.
There you go.
All right. Let's look at some Marvel stuff for Buck. So here you have the Scotty Young, my bad, Scotty Young stuff. This is another 1/6.
Oh, that's cool. Human Torch.
This is a 1/6 resin,
That looks nice, too.
which I actually like this one. I think I'm gonna get this. But it's funny. I like the 1/6 stuff, and for some reason with Marvel, there's less 1/6 mini bus available. They're more 1/7 in this line,
Yeah, okay.
but they do have some. So that would be Human Torch, and then they have these are the 3D bus,
These
which we
look
were also
awesome.
going to talk about, or the Legends in half scale, 3 dimension. Sorry, bus.
There's the goblin.
Here's the Green Goblin that Brenton liked. There's another half scale 3 dimension
That's
bus.
an MCU based Strange, isn't it?
So
Yeah.
let's talk about that since Walton brought it up. I am not. I like more of the comic style stuff with them. I feel that the thing that they lack on the most in small scale is the likeness to
Likenesses,
real
sure.
life stuff.
Yeah.
So for me, I try to stick to the comic stuff. This one isn't horrible for what it is, but it's not quite him. It looks like if anything, it looks like an animated version of him.
Yeah.
It
So
fits their
that's just my
artistic
personal
style, though.
preference. If you're into like real likenesses, there are some that are done well, but for me these are just better collected, either Star Wars stuff with helmets, or stuff that's animated. I think, or comic stuff. I think that's the best way to
Other
go
than
with all
movie
this.
stuff, yeah. But either way, if this fits your budget and you want
Yeah.
a representation of the character, you love that movie.
Mhm.
it's
Well, I mean,
gonna
how
be a
does he look in What
nice
If?
piece.
It could be based on What If. Wasn't that 3D?
This is Infinity War, but
Oh, okay.
that's a good point. You could think of it that way.
But
These are usually limited as well, 1,000 pieces.
1,000.
Hand painted, all that hand sculpted stuff. So there's those.
the comic based ones are definitely better.
Oh, look at that Queen
Let's,
Studios bust right there. Captain America on the left. That's how it should have been done.
Look at
That's
that.
how it should have been done.
Yeah, there you go.
But I like the Scotty Young stuff.
Oh,
so
that
for
Magneto
some
looks pretty
reason-
good.
Scotty,
Yeah.
we'll take a look at the.
I mean,
And
that's what I mean,
Nightcrawler
they
is
still
awesome.
Yeah,
they
let's look at
capture
this
the,
really quick.
the essence of the characters.
Yeah, I like that too.
That's what's
The
Very
best
fun.
of that.
X-Force. I think it's like a variant. I think
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do without this very cartoonish looking Nightcrawler.
They're fun. If you're a Scotty Young fan, then these are fun to have on your
Okay.
desk, or they have a bunch of
But that
them.
Magneto looks really good.
Yeah,
I saw
this
this one in
is-
person.
Also one of my favorites in this line, just because they nail it so well, and there's really good texturing. If we can show it here,
Oh yeah.
and then the difference in the metal pieces here.
Yeah.
Wow, it looks like cast metal.
Yeah.
There's,
Then you
there's a
have-
hint of Jim Lee.
Easter eggs.
Oh, shut up, Buck.
It does.
He's
have a
awesome.
hint.
See, what's
Yeah, that-
what's cool is as statues have gotten more and more involved, and with the texturing and the 3D, sculpting and everything, it's all had a trickle down effect. It trickles down to the smaller scales too, and now you're getting stuff in small scale for relatively inexpensive. That used to be the purview of statues much more expensive only a few years ago. So it's nice.
Yeah, it's impressive what they're doing now.
Cool.
And I
Well-
feel kind of bummed out that we skip over this stuff to a degree because it does look like a great product.
For reason to focus on this kind of stuff, I'm all there. I was supposed to have a small scale piece arrive today.
We can
Side-
definitely.
side-
This
Sideshow postponed it for another day. Or UPS.
this
I should
was
say.
just something that me and Brenton wanted to talk about. But if there's interest and people care enough, like we can do more of these streams, like talking about what's new, what's coming out, things like that.
One and done, Eddie. One and done. No kidding. No, it's been great, man. Open up your eyes to all this stuff.
He's saying one and done because he doesn't want to get enabled to yet another
Yeah,
fucking piece.
exactly.
Um,
Please.
Don't turn me on to something else. Oh my god.
So also
Oh, wow. Oh,
smaller
goddamn.
scale, we have
$25.
Beast
Check your-
Kingdom. What was that? Bud?
I was gonna say casual. Check your phone. I enabled you with some pics.
Alright, here we go. So you have Beast Kingdom. They do random scales, 1/7, 1/8, 1/9, I think. I don't know don't think this has a scale, does it, Brenton?
I don't think so.
Height. This is 6 inches, so
It's
this
not
is
very
a
big.
small.
Oh, look
this
at
is
that.
like one. What is that? 1/12? Or yeah, it might be smaller than 1/12.
Yeah, I know you're in the 1/12th area of like a standalone Marvel Legends figure or something. It would be 6
And still,
inches.
look at the textures.
But I mean, it's a
On the
neat
tentacles.
scene
It's
from
a
the
neat
movie.
scene.
So
Let's see if we can get a better look at the portrait in one of these. Yeah, I think it's, again, like Buck said, you get more diorama stuff here, which is really cool. So I think that's something to look at. Beast Kingdom has all kinds of different licenses, different statues. They do different scales. They have I think a 1/6 scale Davy Jones from Pirates of the Caribbean on Sideshow right now. They have Cartoon Network stuff. They have Powerpuff Girls. That's really cool. They have all kinds of different options for different characters that you like. And then we're going to get into what I think is probably the most talked about small scale items in the community right now, which is Iron Studios. So, which they're really good as well. Bit smaller in 1/10 scale. We have here more. This is Doctor Strange from the What If series, from his show. This is the Strange Supreme.
yeah, some of these have really caught my eye. They look like fantastic pieces that Iron Studios is putting out.
Oh, what Mark said, 6 inches is plenty big. Brenton just saying. He ain't wrong, man. No. Iron Studios does great for 1/10, man. They are getting, someone mentioned earlier, they're getting pricey, but they're still compared to everything else, still affordable. So you have that one.
Well, and I was talking today, and I was like, I want Iron Studios to do a diorama like they've done with the Sentinels, but do like Spider-Man versus the Sinister Six. I think
Right.
that would be something I'd have to pick up if they did that.
So here's another Doctor Strange. We have Doctor Strange from, I think this is Multiverse of
MCU.
Madness, no?
Yeah, this is probably the weakest one I felt, at least in likeness.
See if we can get a close up on the likeness then. The
But
base
I love
is really
the base.
cool. Yeah, the base with
I mean, you should be able to open the image in a separate
Sanctorum.
tab and then.
thank you, Walton, for that fact there. Yeah, he kind of looks like Ron Perlman.
A little bit. Yeah,
He looks like he got older.
Yeah.
He
He's
aged like
scowling.
20 years from the movie.
The texturing and stuff is still well done, and the
Mhm.
detailing.
I know
but yeah,
the detail on the
likeness is
inside of the
little-
cape, the way that they added all that checkering.
Oh, a man from my own heart, right here. I'll be getting the Iron Studios Namor. Me too, dude. That one's a sick ass.
throws in
piece.
that extra 3 R's at
I
the
know.
end.
You got to, man. If you're talking about that version, you gotta say it. You gotta say it the way it's supposed to be said. Speaking
Spent
of
like
which,
80 years being Namor.
I'm glad you guys brought that up, man.
Who are you? I have many names. My people call me Kukunkan. But my enemies call me Namor.
And the old timers call you a Submariner.
I love how it's like
Kukulkan.
people know him. Cuckoo Khan.
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Now, out of pure curiosity, is that actually accurate to modern day Marvel? Or
No.
is this completely made up for Wakanda?
No,
No, I
wait,
think
wait.
they changed
Completely
everything.
made up for the movie.
Dude, he was fucking amazing in that movie.
Good,
I'm
huh?
not gonna lie, dude. He's fucking amazing. So
I hope
definitely made me a
fan.
fan of that character.
Is that on Disney Plus yet? I haven't seen it yet.
No,
I
next
think it's
month.
February 1st or something.
Yeah.
Now this looks so freaking amazing for what it is.
This made a lot of cool collectibles because you got this one. You have the hot toy. This whole scene in Multiverse of Madness. We won't get too into it because I don't want Buck and Brenton to derail everything, but
Mhm.
it was really cool, man. And they came out with some cool collectibles. Like, look at this base. Like, that's sick.
And even the back of the cape is like crazy.
Let's look at it.
I love it.
Oh yeah.
All those dead souls. It's crazy.
That's like a perfect way of using resin right there to show like gloss, different colors
Yeah.
and different shades and everything. That's perfect.
That's cool, dude.
Now they have 2 different versions of this where you don't get that big cape on the back,
Let's see.
but I feel like you need that big cape.
Yeah.
The base is still really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. The demons on the base are awesome.
Yeah, man. I agree.
The
What
demons
company is
leaking
this
out of
again?
the portal.
Iron Studios.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. They do a good job of details.
But look at Strange's
Satan
face.
Street.
Like
Here, let's get a close.
this is like on point.
So are there 2 different versions? Because that doesn't have like the extreme cape.
Oh
or whatever.
yeah. That was a good zoom in right there.
Were you not listening, Walton? Didn't Buck just explain that there was 2 different versions of the cape? Huh? Not paying
No,
attention in class?
Yeah, I must not have been paying attention. I'm sorry.
Just
Sit in
the
you
back
gonna
of the
derail
room.
this shit again for stupid questions, huh, motherfucker? I'm
He's
just
like
playing
this,
with
like-
you, Walton. I'm just joking.
Yeah, they do, I think.
I'll wait for the Iron Studios to pull a Prime 1 and get the quarter version of Zombie Strange.
Oh, jeez.
Jeez.
I don't think it's popular enough. I don't foresee that coming, but
They'll be losing a lot of money on that.
Why are you trying to trigger people with pull a Prime 1, huh, Bucks? You trying to see some motherfuckers
books.
fight? Hey, it'll always be Bucks to me.
is there another picture of the portrait turned so we can see more of that mouth that's like ripped open?
Let's see. Right here. Oh, never mind.
Nope,
Oh.
they teased you. They faked you out.
Dang.
Oof. This looks so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
This is really well done. At least the base. I don't know about the likeness, but the base is really sick.
Yeah.
And it's posed.
No, they don't have it.
I think that's going to be a
Textures.
negative, Brenton. I can pull it out. I will
Good,
pull it out.
yeah, yeah.
Pause.
Take it easy. Take it easy. Take it easy.
You should check what's the name of that company? They make figures. Hot Toys. The Hot Toys version is pretty sick, I think.
Oh yeah, no, that one looks really good too. But that's
I prefer that one.
close to $400, I think.
How much is this one?
I can't get a good.
I think it's like $310.
Oh, then buy the one that's bigger and slightly more expensive.
Well, I was kind of think both, but
Both.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna get both? Madman.
I still have the Doctor Strange from Multiverse of Madness coming, the regular. I've had
Okay.
that on order, so I will get that one at least. And
Hot Toys almost got me with those Spider-Man video game. Like, nah, I resisted.
that's probably a smart thing.
Now Sideshow's after me.
Yeah, but even like those 3 Spider-Man that Iron Studios did from No Way Home, those still look good too.
The 3 Spider-Man.
Yeah, that Iron Studios for the I think they renamed them Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 or something too.
I'm pulling up Kotobukiya really quick, and that'll be the last small scale that we mentioned for tonight.
Well, that's why I feel like when we talk about Kotobukiya, that's their prices have jumped too. When you look at
Yeah.
that cable in Deadpool, that the
But that's
Sheriff
part of
Brothers
the
did.
Yeah, but
premier
those look
line.
good.
That's premier line. That's the premier line. That's always been expensive, actually.
But I look at their artifact stuff because I was looking at some of those too,
Mhm.
and they had a really cool Spider-Man. And I want to say that maybe it was referenced that it was a Sosa sculpt on that Spider-Man.
Depends. I don't know.
Did you see that
Artifacts.
one?
Is it on a round metallic plate that has a Spider-Man logo?
No. This is more dynamic. Let me see. I found it today on eBay, and I was like, "Wow, I didn't know this existed."
Kotobukiya is my favorite out of all the companies.
Here, I don't know if. Hopefully, you can see this.
It's
Okay, that
not
looks
that
good.
great a quality, but
There we go.
there's a picture of the mouth.
Okay.
Brenton.
Are we?
So-
He's talking about the Doctor Strange, Renton, not your Spider-Man.
You want to make it large, Eddie? That's weird.
No, I
thing
do
to
not,
ask.
sir.
Super
Fly.
size.
I guess.
The
Tip.
innuendos are flying aplenty.
Oh man, super size.
That looks.
Yeah, it
good.
looks good.
The webbing is flexible too. You can pose it as you want.
Splooge.
So.
Oh,
you have
even comic
options
books
there.
look great behind them too.
You
That's
could have
cool.
sent me the image, Brenton, and I could have put it up on the.
Well, sorry.
This
I'm a failure.
Day one?
Don't judge me.
I'm a failure.
I came out a bit too sincere, Renton.
Oh my god.
All right, let's take a look at some different stuff. And there's gonna be some anime, so buckle.
Woohoo! Raftalia. I don't know that purple-haired chick.
A
Look
rat
at here,
backpack.
Buck. You
My
love this chick?
Street Fighter.
That's
yeah,
Capcom stuff.
Bob's and Veggie.
What the?
Yeah, My Little Pony. Look at that. That's for those sick
Oh, wow. She
bastards.
actually looks pretty good, that X23.
For the
king of
bronies?
fighters.
Look at that.
For the bronies. Oh, casual. How do you know that?
Because I took
Dang.
my little nieces to a My
This
Little
is-
Pony convention,
And
and it
you
turned out
saw
to be a
adult men
BronyCon,
there.
and I was like, "What?"
What is this shit?
Wait.
This
Did it have like a bunch of people and
Yes,
like?
I'll tell you a
Oh,
story
wow.
afterwards.
yes.
Casual backstage. I'll tell you a story later.
Yeah, I'll have to tell you one too, casual after. But,
So this is Koto's Bishojo line.
Yeah, so it's gonna have that
but Shosho?
animated.
Be-
Animated.
I prefer her the one they did where she's in her like traditional costume, not like when she's Wolverine. That one you can see her face, and it's really nice.
Let's see if I'll filter it down here.
Might be sold out. It's an older piece. Oh, you filtered for only Marvel. You filthy man.
What? That's what you were talking about.
He wanted
right?
anime, I think.
No, I was talking about X-23 specifically.
Look
It
at
has
that.
the-
Look at this Hulk.
I like that Hulk. That one's pretty cool.
Let me see if I can find this.
it won't be here. It's an older piece.
You don't-
It's like
you don't
sold
think
out.
so?
Yeah,
Here,
it's
that one?
No. That's the X-Force version.
No,
of the
he
one.
says it wouldn't be in the costume.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No worries.
So, like, Kotobukiya has different levels of statues as well, or collectibles, whatever. So the artifacts, I believe, is the entry tier for them, and then you have the Boshijo stuff is Boshujo.
Bishojo.
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 Yeah.
Bishojo. Look, can you guys see this? You guys take a quick look. Look at
B as in
X-23.
like,
It's like-
you
and
know,
then
like the
look
thing
at-
that bounces around.
It's like
Show,
Bishojo. It's like
and
One
then
at a
Joe.
time, children, please.
B show Joe.
Okay, look at
Now
X-23,
you do it, Eddie.
and then you look
Shoujo.
at Venom,
Show me.
Yeah.
right? And see
Yeah.
like the price difference, and see the size of Venom compared to her. Do you know that? You know what that's like the titty premium, like
Jesus.
the fact
Premium.
This
they do
is
that all the
well, this
time
is-
with anime.
But this is
1/10.
PVC and plastic.
Oh, this 1/10.
And it's
yeah, and this is
And that one's
probably like
probably-
1/7, I think.
It's probably 1/7, but I promise you,
Yeah,
PVC
9
and
inch.
I
ABS.
promise you, if you get another figure that's 1/7, it can be more detailed than that X-23. But when it comes to anime statues, when
That
there's
Venom looks
boobs,
better.
they like charge a premium.
That is
Pudgy,
reminiscent.
this is
it's-
Bowen right here.
It's Bowen-esque, yeah.
Yeah.
But Bowen has one pretty much in that pose that unfortunately does blow that one away. But it's
It was just because the paint.
Well, he
is more,
he makes
Is
him
it sculpted
more
by Sosa.
more stoic. He's kind
It could
of
be.
more kick-ass.
Does it say here somewhere?
But this is PVC.
2000
It's great for PVC.
Is it a different Sosa, or is it the guy who also does things over
Where's the
muscular?
name?
It
That
doesn't
dude.
show.
Eric Sosa, yeah, that dude.
You know,
When he's doing work for companies, he reigns in his style.
Yeah, okay.
Can you go
the art
to that
direction.
Venom on the building there? That one looks
So-
really cool.
I love the look of this, but this one suffers from horrible seam lines. Here.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So if that wasn't there, I would be more of a fan of this.
It's dropping a deuce.
Can we pretend it's a tentacle? Pretend it's a tendril.
Yeah, I mean, if you display it in this angle here,
There you go.
I mean,
What
now
you
that
doing?
kind of looks like
Nah, he's
Venom's
doing
having
something
a
else.
very good day, and he's
No.
just finished.
Is Venom just happy to see me?
That's exactly what he is.
He
As
has
the
a
later
power.
it gets,
Ven-
these jokes.
Venom Holmes.
But that
Oh,
Hulk is cool though. I like
Iron
that.
Man
Okay,
is
and this
awesome.
is
This one's
this
pretty
is the
cool.
top tier of their
Yeah.
tier list.
This
The
Oh, looks
is
like
resin.
art.
I like
This is resin.
Yeah, these are resin.
Is this the one you had that you didn't like?
Yeah,
1/6.
but 1/6 scale resin. The it was more the QC that I didn't like. Thor didn't peg in all the way,
Oh.
and some of the pieces on the base were friction fit, and they were very annoying. And this is the peg here that mine was sat out about a couple centimeters. It didn't look very good, so I returned it. But
And
it
you had
was a
hard
good
time.
piece. One thing that I really loved about it was the skin painting.
It's done well.
The skin, they've done something that is not done on a lot of pieces, where it has a reflective. It kind of takes in
Like
the
a
light.
sheen.
The
So
subsurface
is it
scattering.
transparent resin?
Say it again, bud.
Subsurface scattering.
Tell us what that
Subsurface
effect
scattering.
is. Tell us. what
Okay,
that
easiest way to explain it: take a light and put it against your finger. You can see the light through your finger,
Yeah,
and they see
It
it on
has-
candles as well, wax candles and stuff.
it absorbs the
But
light
is that
in the
what?
same way.
Oh,
Is that
okay.
similar
I
to what-
gotcha.
Prime One does with their
Yeah,
translucent resin.
it is.
Okay.
So it gives depth to the.
You'd have to show me the Prime One pieces that I see, or like that do it well, because I've never seen skin the way this was painted when I had it in hand.
It
So
they do it on a
Is
lot
this
of the
K-Bros?
pieces. Probably
What
that.
did you
4K
say?
bros.
4K bros. What the fuck?
Okay.
Man?
Kucharik.
Well, I mean, like I know that like now, like their super expensive line is going to be exclusively done by the Kucharik brothers, or Kucharik brothers, how you pronounce it.
We can look at some of they're sold out here, but they have
It's
the,
pronounced Bishojo, Walton.
Dang, look at that guy.
we've talked.
I mean, it's got Liefeld's art style all over it.
It's absolutely.
Holy shit, man! Imagine how. Look at his head. Look at his shoulders.
That's what
Crazy.
his
Yeah.
shoulders not.
It's very accurate to Liefeld.
He skipped head day.
Yeah, yeah.
He looks like he wronged that guy that Beetlejuice wronged at the end of
Yes.
the movie. The
Yeah,
shaman.
This dude's proportions are crazy. Look at his length of his legs and his
But hey, that's what he looked like. That's right off the comic page.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And his
mad.
feet are buried in the ground, so you can't see him just because Liefeld couldn't draw it with feet.
It's pretty awesome though.
So late night, I think the easiest material to work with is PVC or plastic. I think it's easier to paint. But that's the reason we end up paying more when something is resin or polystone resin, because it's harder to work with. They have to take more steps. They have to primer the statue before painting it, because it's harder to paint. It's harder for paint to stick to the surface of those materials, and it's also a more brittle material to work with. So I think that's why we see such a big price difference, honestly. Even though for us it feels higher end, it's actually harder to work with.
Yeah, depends on the application. I know like PVC,
I do like that.
they'll never use PVC to do the bottom half of any PVC statue. They're always going to use ABS because the PVC can't hold up the weight of itself. It'll, because of heat, it's just going to buckle, and it will buckle at the ankles or stuff. So they'll use ABS, which is a harder plastic, to do that part, like so the lower half of the body.
Okay.
So they'll
Well,
mix.
I might not be a fan of the Sentinel base. I do think this Deadpool looks amazing.
I think
It reminds me off of like the Cable and Deadpool series.
Yeah,
There's a lot of good texturing here too.
he shows that right there, Fabian.
So that we talked about everything that I think me and Brenton wanted to cover. Brenton, is there anything that we missed?
No,
that
I
you
don't
wanna
think
go
so.
over?
Unless you just want to see the in hand of that gallery diorama quick.
Yeah, let's take a look at it really quick.
While you're also on BBTS, I'll let Brent do his thing. Sorry.
Make them big. Make
No,
them
that's
big.
fine. So yeah,
That's good.
I mean,
Oh look, it's blackwash.
I actually thought for this,
Wow, you
this is
bastard.
specifically like 90s Spider-Man, so it's supposed to have the McFarlane eyes and everything. But the only thing that I really saw is like on the backside here, there's like a little paint missing, like right
On his
there.
ass cheek.
Yeah, there's a little red dot in the blue.
Oh, I can't
Yeah.
see that.
Oh, I
You
can
could
barely
kinda-
see.
I see.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh
see.
yeah,
Yeah.
now I do.
But
Return it.
Wow.
Is that basically?
Shit.
Are you saying they put a red dot to signify
Oh
that they should
damn!
have painted
Say that
there?
again, Pudgy.
What?
Say what you just said
she.
again.
but
Okay, here's what you tell anybody who bitches at you about that dot. That is the Punisher in off screen with a laser scope
Oh,
trying to take a
yeah.
shot at Spider-Man, and he's evading.
that's awesome.
That's
But
perfect.
I love the way that he's done. Like the spider's done fantastic. The webbing, it's a little blue, has like a blue tint to it instead of all white. But
Yeah,
other
but to
than
be
that,
fair, I mean, I think that webbing actually looks pretty decent. I've seen more
I like the webbing too.
pure white webbing than that.
I love the dynamic pose. It feels very Spider-Man-esque.
Yeah.
Right.
So
See now, here's the thing. Now, don't take this wrong. I'm going to criticize the more expensive statue in the back versus this one. This pose to me is 100% Spider-Man, jumping off the page at me as I'm reading it. The statue in the back behind you, I know a lot of people love it, but you know how when you see certain things, that's what you see in your mind and you can't unsee it?
yeah.
Like when I look at Spidey like that, it reminds me of like a guy in a Broadway show taking off his hat. Like it's time for the show. You know,
Hey,
that's what
Jay Frog
this.
show. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, this piece, that's Spider-Man to me.
and I love the that on that Pudgy. I don't know.
And exactly, and you know what? This was $34 shipped. I got it.
What?
Damn,
I
Okay.
really couldn't beat the price.
that's very
So-
affordable.
And for what it is, I think it looks fantastic for what it is. And I was actually pretty impressed seeing it in hand.
It's pretty
Wow.
fantastic for the
I think
price.
it looks really good.
Did you buy it on
Looks-
Amazon?
Looks nice.
No, I actually bought it from Marcos, Collector's Own.
Oh,
He hooked me
okay.
up. So
crazy. Shame
Is
it's
he going right
McFarlane.
there, or was he going somewhere else?
Wow. Look at the size
what
of
was
that.
that?
thing.
Sorry.
That shame it's a McFarlane.
Oh, shut up, Puck.
Oh, here
Is
we
he
go.
going right there, or is he going like in your office, or where's he going?
Going right for the jugular.
No, I think I was going to try and keep him there and possibly build around him with the villains.
Okay.
Some of them that we've seen today, because that's what display that I wanted was like Spider-Man with his villains surrounding him.
Okay.
But it's hard to do that, at least in quarter scale, because the space alone, the space and the cost to do that is just not feasible, at least for me. So I was looking for an alternative, and you are kind of limited in your selections for Marvel. At least when you get to some smaller scales, like 1/6, it seems like there is to be a lacking, other than like Kotobukiya.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself mixing up companies like Kotobukiya, DC, like the rest of them?
I don't know, because I think they may look too different when you start
Yeah.
mixing them up. So I actually have a premiere version coming of Spider-Man that Diamond did. So I'm gonna compare it to this and then see kind of which line I like better and go from there.
I think you got a good plan, Brenton. I want you to stick with this plan and know that it's live,
That's
and
not
that
gonna
we're gonna come
happen.
back. I'm gonna clip this and send you a video of yourself and remind you of this plan.
Oh, man.
And we're gonna keep, like I said, that focus for this year, 2023. We got him on a focus, but
Nice.
I think it's a good plan, man.
All right. So can we do
That's
one
not how it
last
works,
thing?
Eddie.
Here, hold on, really quick. I'm gonna show my my Gentle Giant piece. I did a video on it, but really, since we're showing off our small scale, I got this in 2
Hell
weeks
yeah.
ago, I think.
This looks good.
This is one of those Gentle Giant mini bus 1/6 scale Cad Bane, and I really like it. Paint's really good in the face. There are some areas here on the hand that's the lining could be a little better, but you could see they have texturing in the jacket, looks like leather, and there's weathering here on his oxygen mask. I think that's what that is.
So how many are you gonna
face
actually pick
looks
up
really
these?
good. That's a good question, man. I want to do the Clone Wars / Rebels line. I have one on the way, Mandalorian Death Watch piece. And then I want to get all of the Rebels line, which would be Hera and Chopper, that 2-pack, Zeb. There's a Kanan Jarrus and Ezra. And who am I forgetting? That might be all of them. So you got those 5. Oh no, you got Sabine. So 6. They did a Sabine piece that sold out. I'll have to track that one down. That would be 6 of that for that line. And then for Clone Wars, there's a decent amount of clones, like if you go back. So if I do the clones, it's a lot, but I'm going to stick with main characters. So you got Ahsoka, Annie, Obi-Wan. They did a Mace Windu. And then some side characters here and there. There's actually a Chrysanthemum from Book of Boba Fett that looks really cool, even though that character on the show wasn't great. He's a cool character, so it'll be pick and choose here and there, Walton, but should be fun, fun line to get into. All right, Brenton, what did you want to do before
So I'm sending you 3 links that if we could
Jesus
just
Christ.
look at quick.
I'm just playing. Yeah, let's see.
And it just shows there because I knew they were in stock for now.
Okay, we're gonna start with this guy, and we'll take a look at this guy, and the last guy. Okay, so let me share my screen. We have. Oh, I
Because
don't know which
I
one's
found
first.
these really tempting. I like the way they're done.
All right, this one's first. So here we have.
All right.
Can't
Yep, the Rhino.
zoom
So
in, but Rhino
I feel like
from Diamond Select. This is the premier line, so that little bit higher end.
Only 2 left,
3,000
Brenton.
pieces.
Oh shit! Don't do this.
I know, but
Steve the enabler.
I love the
Oh my
way
God.
that
Thanks,
this
Obi.
Rhino is
Tick,
done.
tock,
This feels
tick,
like
Appreciate
Talk.
you.
Ramita Rhino
It does.
to me.
Yes.
Oh, 20% code just dropped. Looks good, Brenton. Like, yeah, man. Like, it's crazy. It's scary, man. Because you could get your Sinister 6 with, if like within the month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think what scale is this? This is
this is
1/6,
1/7.
no? Oh, 1/7.
Yeah.
Okay.
All you gotta do is learn how to paint, get a 3D printer, Brenton, and you can have all you want for like relatively cheap.
You go insane.
Well,
Well, paint isn't the only thing you have to do. You got to finish the statue too.
I don't know. 3D printing, from what I've heard, is a lot harder than it sounds.
It's
A lot harder than it sounds, but it's skills you can learn. The painting part, the other stuff, you can learn it easily.
So this lizard is the same thing. So this is the Premier line and it's resin. And I thought this
Right on.
one looked really good too.
That's early 70s lizard all the way.
So I found those two. I was like, oh man, these are so tempting.
I don't know if anyone answered OG Fan's question. He's asking what scale is the Rhino? It's 1/7, right?
7th, I believe.
1/7.
we have another motherfucker who doesn't listen, huh?
Oh, lighten up.
This is
Eddie's
made
already
media, by
attacking the
way.
chat.
Yeah, we,
Wow.
thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. I'm just playing.
Or in the last thing, which it looks really fun.
One more
It looks
thing.
great, Brenton. I
And he
like
said,
it.
"Thank you." See, that don't you know?
This is that half scale bust. And
Look at the base. That's a cool base, man.
Oh, pumpkin bomb?
Yeah.
Anybody ever play Legacy of Kain?
yep.
No.
This looks like what's his face? Oh, I can't. I'm drawing blanks. The dude,
Oh.
the bad guy from the first game.
What was that? Oh, Brenton.
I was just trying to think of that bad guy's name.
I'll find out. Forget it. Focus on the green color.
It's a good price for this, Brenton.
Oh, yeah, I
from
mean-
Marcos.
Because everything, that includes everything, so.
Half scale, limited to 1,000 pieces.
I see that
Sculpted
Alterton
by Alter. Yeah, go ahead.
does a lot of stuff. Like, he does a lot of sculpting of the gallery pieces. So the PVC ones, he does a lot of sculpting for those.
Arwen says artist-specific pieces are great. Just hope to see more from Silver Age and Bronze Age, even Golden Age. Yep. So that was everything we had to talk about. It was.
No.
I think that was a really good show, and I appreciate all you guys for tuning in and joining like throughout the show. I think it helped a lot, and I like hanging out with you guys. So I appreciate you all,
Yep.
even if I talk shit. Like it's all love. Man.
He's all
love.
bark. It's okay. It's okay.
You son of a bitch. So, thank you, Brenton, mainly for doing this with me and, helping me out. And it's cool because me and Brenton have similar views in collecting, so it's really cool. I appreciate Brenton. But, Brenton, you want to talk about question of the week this week? You want to give us a heads up or
Yeah. Here's a heads up. I haven't thought of it yet, but.
Yeah, son of a bitch. How about something to do with small scale, man?
I know.
Do you think small scale is not talked about enough in the statue community, or do you think something like that? I don't know.
I think it's definitely not talked about enough, but maybe I can cover that for question of the week of some awareness to this, because I think these are great things, and I don't know why they're overlooked, and I don't know if it's just a size thing that it doesn't
Size is
have
always
the
overlooked.
this trigger word of like
Jesus.
presence. Everyone always talks about presence, and I don't know if it's because they lack that they don't feel these deserve to be talked about, or if it's the company has a stigma attached to it of this is crap products because it's by this company, that it's just cheap kind of junk, which I feel that's an unfair assessment too.
But like we said earlier in the show, presence. You can. There's something a guy I used to work with used to say, and I can't fucking think.
Probably
of it. It's an
presence.
illusion.
The warehouse analogy you used or something?
Yeah, but like it's an illusion. You can create it, right? You can create
Mhm.
presence when it's not there by the way you display it.
But you can't
there's
create
a
substance.
yeah, there's a ton of things you can do because it's all an illusion. It's just easier with 1/3 because it's just you just set it there and it has a presence.
It's just there. No, but that Koto line, I mean, even though for 1/6 it's pricey, I mean it's not as pricey, and you can definitely get a lot of pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So I can definitely see that for the people who are kind of feeling priced out of 1/4 and 1/3, maybe looking at Koto and going like, I can get Prime 1, I can get XM, I can get a PF in the smaller scale and still be able to collect. So
Yeah, I mean, I think there's tons of potential to collect a bunch of smaller scales so you can get a large grouping of characters, and then use like a quarter scale to accentuate your collection.
I agree. I think there's a place for everything, and I think they accentuate each other. And wow, you hate to see it. Buck, you want to mention anything you want to talk about? Anything you have coming in? How you feeling? Whatever.
Oh man, sorry. What was yeah, I was gonna say. I was gonna say one thing on the fact that people don't talk about 6 scale or the smaller stuff. No, I won't say 6 scale. Smaller stuff is because community coalesces against something everyone wants to talk about or likes. There's communities for the smaller stuff, and then we're just in the community that's about the bigger stuff, and that's why we don't talk about it.
That's true. That's 100% true.
This is not something that's unique to this hobby. It's in all hobbies and all facets. I'm into watches. I've told you guys I'm into watches. Watches, Rolex. Everybody Rolex. And it got to a point. Rolex used to be something you aspired to. And then it became something that for most people is now unattainable. And so the one that's always been second best, which is like an Omega, now that's the aspirational thing that people are aiming at. So there's always this thing, and one group is snobs, and if it's not a Rolex, it's not the best thing on the planet, and everything else sucks, and they won't even give it a thought. So there's brands, just like in other hobbies, it's brands. There's scales too in this hobby. It's human nature. That's the way it is.
Do you think he was gonna go for a car analogy, Eddie?
No, I threw you.
I did, but he went with the watches, man.
I went to well, this is small scale, so I'm going to use small scale analogies.
Okay, there you go.
Well, it's interesting because I don't think people realize what Diamond is putting out. So I think that's a key distinction here.
No, I
Some
agree
of those
with you. I
watches
think
cost as much as a car, Joe.
Oh, absolutely, they do.
That's true.
But
And now,
Eddie,
now the one that used to cost as much as a car costs as much as a house. That's what's ridiculous.
I don't
It's
know
very
if you want to
similar to
reconvene
statues.
when
Reconvene?
I get that Spider-Man in.
Yeah.
Do like an
definitely.
unboxing of that.
And then I have
briefly.
that bus coming as well.
Okay.
So maybe we'll do this talk as we get pieces in, or whenever me and Brenton feel like it, really, because I think Brenton's gonna join me a lot for these discussions. You guys can too. But that's what we'll do with this small scale talk. Anytime we get a piece in, or there's big news or something we really want to talk about, we'll set up one of these. So I think that'll be pretty cool. But that's a good idea. Walton, you got anything coming? You want to share your thoughts?
I do tend to collect the bigger stuff, so it's not necessarily everything that I would collect is going to be 1/3 pretty much.
Because Walton's a whore.
No, I'm just
He's
saying,
a Rolex wearing snob. That's what he is.
Yeah,
Kiss it.
it's just there's no ring to kiss, you assholes. That's how I went.
Yeah, that's good.
Everyone says comic version accuracy and classic artist-specific look is definitely overlooked in the current statue world. Great show, guys.
Indeed.
Oh no,
Appreciate
yeah.
you,
If you're an XM guy, like you don't have comic accuracy. That's for damn certain.
So, Steve, how's the sale going, man? What do you?
It's going smooth. Like I get one or two people that go like, so what's your lowest price? I was like, if you look at the post, it's posted like 2 hours ago. I saw that, but like is there any wiggle room? I was like, I guess you don't understand what that means.
Yeah,
so
I got
just
something that wiggles for you.
Yeah.
No, unfortunately,
when they
in this
ask
day and
you-
age,
When they ask you what's your lowest price, just respond these nuts.
Nice.
I mean,
professional
realistically,
bit,
you put in when you put up something for sale, you always build in like $100 more than what you want to actually out of the
Yeah, like a little bit of wiggle room, but like you don't like flex the price the first hour or second hour.
Oh no.
Yeah, you try to wait
I'm
a week.
saying
or
you got to
something.
make these people think they're getting a deal.
Jesus. No, but it's going well. Like I expected this. I sold a bunch of stuff before, so I expected it. They're all going. Like Sam got his Colossus. I sent someone. I guess he doesn't want me to say his name until you guys will see. He got his. Then I sent one up to New York. Another guy. So it's going.
Nice.
This guy's not retired by any chance, is he?
Yeah, would Rashid
I
by
can't
now?
say. I can't say.
Oh,
He said.
Um,
Oh shit!
Wait, is Storm missing? Is
No,
there a
she's right there.
storm that way?
I got hit up by her. Yeah,
Oh.
shit. I got hit up like 4 times. Like someone was interested, but I don't know. It's a really, really great piece. But yeah, it's going well. And money, I really love the idea, man. Like, it's not talked about enough. And I have like 3 comic book stores nearby. I usually hop in, just to pass the time. And they have these all over the place, like all over the place. And it's like, it's great, man. I wish the animated, the Batman animated series is probably gonna catch me, but I'm gonna try to
That's
stay away.
one that we didn't cover. That is also. I mean, I know Dan is looking for those again right now, right? Like, those are really good pieces. Those. Really
Yeah,
good
they
ones.
have all of them. This one.
And they did a half-scale bust of at least Batman. I saw
I
that
had that.
today.
Yeah.
And
I
that
don't want this to drag into
You don't want
a
this
half
life?
hour. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't want this life. I don't want this to drag into a half-hour topic here. But if Steve wants to answer this, because he's the one selling right now, how's the aftermarket feel compared to a few years ago?
So to be honest, it's the same. Like there's, it's weird. Like you put up these prices, the economy is going how it is, but people like art. I know for me, what I've seen in past recessions and all other stuff, art always keeps its value, and it keeps or it goes up. Never for me. I haven't seen it go down. I consider these art. Like people, not everyone could afford it and everything, but people out there will buy it. they see a Mystique go for sale. I got hit up for that for a couple of times, but I think it's the same, to be honest. People that have money are gonna buy them. It's
the same old situation, just in different ways. I don't know how to explain that, but like
like I would be able to sell like Wolverine 3 years ago pretty quick. Now it's kind of slower, but like people will buy it eventually. Just gotta wait it out. The higher end pieces do sell real quick though.
Cool game collectibles. Hello.
You're muted.
You're muted, Eddie. Eddie's muted.
Oh, the whole fucking time I read the thing. You guys let me.
Time.
Yeah. We have someone tune in at the end here. It says, "What's up, gentlemen? I am a 1/10 scale collector. I would love to join the chat." Yeah, definitely. Hit me up after this. We'll talk, and maybe the next one we can get you on. But I appreciate you tuning in. Pudgy, what's going on this week, man?
What's going on is looking at things in my shopping cart and reassessing my things, my goals in life.
nice.
It's amazing.
You realizing how much space you're gonna eat up, or what's going on here?
Oh, then just yeah, I gotta do some planning. Because
Pudgy was shopping while we were showing everything.
Yes, I'm shopping and looking at stuff, and yeah,
Same.
so
Yeah.
Are you
He's gonna
buying
get
more
some of those
1/6,
FF
or are you
pieces.
going
I'm not sure, Walton. I'm in flux.
That's the best part about this, though. We could talk about stands. We could talk about display cases. We could talk about like
Yeah.
what Brenton was going to do with his diorama. It's going to be.
Well, luckily Joe makes his own display cases, so
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I'm thinking I could make a display case that would hold like 100 of these bad boys, and it would be painless.
Yeah.
Oh my god! There's certain aspects to small scale that they're really addictive. You know.
it's like candy.
Yes, like
chocolate.
candy.
Yeah.
Eat a piece of candy.
Jesus, Buck. What was
Not
with that-
cocaine, Buck.
What was with that pinky nail there? Huh?
Yeah. I guess polystone your main line and small scale you. Is that what the fuck is getting at?
You can put it in your ass. We
Oh,
have-
Jesus Christ.
That's only for the Oscars.
Well, that made it awkward. Okay.
So this week on Made Media,
On Made
always
Media.
awkward. Tune in next
Perfect
time.
segue.
Yeah.
Will Eddie put it up his ass? We'll find out next time.
Hopefully, it's a Silver Surfer.
we're-
It's nice and smooth.
We're starting with the smaller scales.
Yeah.
We're gonna graduate to 1/3 someday. Keep tuning in.
Oh no.
Same bad channel, same bad time.
Somewhere in the world, Rashid is cringing.
He just
We
said, what the fuck did he say?
Yo, Paul.
Okay, so this week, tomorrow,
Hold on.
catch tomorrow. Nothing on Made Media tomorrow. Tomorrow, catch Collectors Club with John. The only place to be on the Friday night, unless you can't get in, then you gotta go somewhere else. You got you on the list?
Yeah.
So you got John on Collecting Weekly tomorrow. You got Pain Collectibles is doing his Friday show. I may or may not be on there. I don't know. Fridays has become like
Yeah.
where do I go? So you got Pain. You have Latino World Order. I don't know what channel that'll be on this week, but if you're into the Hot Toy stuff, that's with El Profesoro, Mario, and then you got
You can say Namor
P-Rock.
all day, but you can't say El Profesoro.
He hasn't practiced it.
Yeah.
You hate to
That's
see
right.
it. So anyway, it was good having Steve. How dare you come for the throat, motherfucker?
That's funny.
What scale can this buy me?
Oh.
Crackhead scale down the corner.
Jesus,
You can get a bottle of soda.
$3.
No, jeez.
Teeth are not included.
Wow, look at a Bulbo
Oh,
reference.
God.
Got an
me
old
the Bulbo.
CW Made Media After Dark. I love to see it. Wow, Buck uses his credit card for more than buying statues. This guy knows you, man.
I'm not sure, like, what that means.
I don't
I
know
can fill
either.
in I'll fill in that blank.
Yeah, I think it was more of your reference of your big sniffing.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
damn. Oh, damn.
That's how you make them lines.
It's because Eddie brought it late. That's why.
Cash says, I'm a 110 collector, but it's big dick energy all day. Man's not small.
There we go.
Hey, yo, pause.
Okay, so we have that going on Friday. Saturday, catch me on Payne's channel. We're going to do an unboxing of a Ichigo. Or no, not Ichigo. Toshido, right? Buck? Toshido Hitsugaya
It's a guy?
from Bleach.
Ice guy?
Yeah, we're going to be unboxing the... I
Who's
forgot what
unboxing
company. Payne.
Oh,
Where'd
shit.
Ichi go?
He
geez.
came
No,
and
no.
went.
You didn't hear it. No, you didn't hear it. Let me just have this horrible joke to all
Yeah.
of you.
So check that out. I think we're going live at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 Eastern. So that's on Payne Collectibles channel. And then Sunday, I'm going to be doing Chill the F Out with my brother, where we talk about collecting news in general, hot toys, statues, figures, anything. You guys are free to join if you have nothing going on your Sunday. And that is all for this week. And then we got the same shit next week. So thank you guys all for tuning in again. All the tuning in the chat, all the
Tune into the shit.
wow.
More of the same shit next week's, folks. So tune in.
It's true, man. What the fuck? The interaction in the chat, I love to see it. We had OG, we had Phil, we had Erwin, we had Jimmy, we had a couple guys come in at last second. I appreciate all of the interaction, good conversation, so that's cool. And hopefully we get it more often. So, but with that said, we'll catch you guys on the next show.
Take care, peeps.
Let me hit you with it.
You son made it, Mama. It's a success. You know what a hasha is, friend? That's a pig that don't fly.